You know what that means. It's a sleepless Sunday and it's a blessed, a wonderful, beautiful day. Christmas shopping. The energy's great. Yesterday we had a great pot. Thank you everybody for checking that out. But this is something that we look forward to all year. I know as soon as we wrapped up last year's, I couldn't wait for next year just because of how much new music I knew was going to be coming out. And I did not know how any of it was going to sound. And it turns out we got a phenomenal 2023, amazing year of music. So many different artists dropped. So much to try to wrap up and keep up with. I mean, we had to do a whole week's worth of research of like, hold on. And I can't tell you how many times, and I'm sure you probably did this too, where it's like you go back and be like, oh my God, and I forgot about that. Yep. Like, damn it. Like, that just happened again. But thank you guys, though, for being tuned in. Sleepless Radio, or not Sleepless Radio, actually. Sleepless 4th Annual Awards, which to tell you, we were talking about time flies before we went live tonight. 4th Annual Sleepless Awards. I feel like we just started this thing last month. What the hell is going on? But it is the 4th Annual Sleepless Awards, where we'll be covering everything from Album of the Year to Song of the Year. Oh, actually, let me go get this going. I forgot we're live on both tonight. Song of the Year, we got male, female, Artist of the Year. We got Rookie of the Year. We got Sleeper of the Year. We got Producer of the Year. We got Best Featured Artist. Best Featured Artist, Best Feature, Best Collab Album. We got a lot to cover. Oh, yeah. We definitely got a lot to cover. Got the IG going live now as well. Sleepless 4th Annual Awards. We are live, shake and bake style. I know for the past 3, we did have Dooley as the co-host, but we switched it up this year as just the chips fell. And Koozie, you planned on joining us, and thank you for joining the Thunderdome, going over some picks and doing that much hard research that we had to do. But we love doing it because it's celebrating great music. Sleepless 4th Annual Awards. Here we go. We got good brother Triple M and IG. So we're going to kick this thing off with male and female artists. But I know we're not going to be gentlemen on this, but we're going to go with the men first on this. We're going to go with male artists first to kick off the Sleepless 4th Annual Awards. Thank you guys for being tuned in live, and thank you for everybody being tuned in afterwards as well. I'm so excited. We are so excited to see your picks. And before we get into any of the picks, it is to my right, the good brother Lil Koozie Vert. My good brother, my shake and bake, the cow to my Ricky, the Ricky to my cow. Thank you for pulling up a chair and joining us on the Sleepless 4th Annual Awards. And if you don't know this ugly mug, I love telling you, Mr. Creme de la Creme, the one that they do, in fact, call him Mr. El Tucker Tente, the ultimate motherfucking sensei, the one who, of course, taught Bruce Lee everything he motherfucking knows, a.k.a. Space Mountain Stoney, a.k.a. Stony Montana, a.k.a. Edward Swisherhands, a.k.a. Young Dumbledore, a.k.a. Bed Burgundy, a.k.a. the young Tony Clifton, a.k.a. call me what you will, just never call me broke or sad. It's Mr. Pale Cassidy, a.k.a. Mr. Keep the Love High. And the motherfucking hate low, baby. Whew. All right, on that note, that's a mouthful, ain't it? Yeah. That's a mouthful and a half. Say that 5 times. Oh, God. You'd keel over. So to kick it off, we will kick this thing off with a bang. 4th Annual Awards. I'm going to milk it because I love doing these so much. But let's start off with Male Artist of the Year. I will first list my nominations, and then I will give you my winner. Then I will give you my honorable mentions. So, first nomination, Conway the Machine. Why I have Conway the Machine up there. I didn't tally up on an exact number, but you got the project that he did with Conductor Williams that just dropped. You got the one with 1-2 that just came out as well. You got Won't He Do It, his whole album. He did that collab album with Jay Skeese, Pain Provided Profits. He also did the Drum Work album and curated that to help get his label going. Plus, name an album where there's not a Conway feature on it from this year. So for my first pick for a nomination, I go Conway the Machine, La Maquina. So people know kind of how I like what angle I'm coming from when it comes time to actually picking like the noms and who wins. 2 of my main things is efficiency and workload. And nobody had a bigger workload in 2023 than Con. I mean, shit, at the beginning of the record on And Then You Pray For Me, Costas, right before his verse starts, he's like, man, I just got leg surgery. I'm still in the hospital, but you know, this shit don't wait. And it's like, what do you mean? Wait, you just dropped 10 features last month. It can wait a little bit, man, if you need to take some time. But no, he was 2 feet on the gas at all times. My second nomination, I don't think comes to a shock. He had great album. He's been on a great album run. I believe that man goes by the name of El Drake. I go Drake #2 for Best Male Artist nomination. Plus his features, his feature alone just on the new Pink Friday 2, that was a fucking phenomenal feature. Love that joint with him and Nicki. Plus he had other features throughout the years too, like on Oh You Went with Young Thug. Love that. Cheers to you, good brother Doomer. He said, shaking day, fellas. What's going on, man? My third nomination. Now, this is where I say workload, and efficiency. Not saying that those other guys weren't efficient, but this man didn't miss. Larry June. I think his project that he had with Cardo was phenomenal, and even better, I thought The Great Escape with Alchemist. I'll say it. I think that might be a classic. That might be an Alchemist classic, at least in Larry June and Alchemist discographies. I think that lands as a classic. For my fourth nomination, I got Tunechi, baby, Weezy, got Lil Wayne. I know he put out that. I don't know if we want to call that a mixtape, but he put out that like compilation project of just kind of like loose records, like a Sorry for the Wait kind of thing. Yeah. And then you got the Welcome to Collie Grove. He had that insane Carter tour that I caught him on, which not saying that I factor in tours, but I'm just throwing it out there. And I mean, yeah, his features were insane this year. And I think overall, I mean, Wayne up there, I don't think is going to rub too many people the wrong way. However, this one, let's see how the chips fall, because this is my fifth nomination and my winner. So my winner for Best Male Artist of the Year goes to Nas. Giving it to Nas. Okay. You got King's Disease 3, you got Magic 2, you got Magic 3. Capping off that 6-album run that he did with Hit Boy, and how amazing a lot of those records are, and to hear him at this high of a level at this stage of his career, I'll take him as Best Male Artist of the Year. So I'll stamp that one with Nas. My honorable mentions, I got 3 for Male Artist of the Year. I got Central C. I believe he's becoming a big star that's carried over from the UK. I got Central C. Dooley's going to be happy about this one, so he can be here in spirit. I got Dominic Fike. I think that Apple Music Live that he did was incredible. I think the way that he dropped that album and just like the whole press and like even that, not saying that I factor in the press and the interviews and everything, but I think that showed his true character, which now when people see that, you can really get behind the music because you're like, whoa, that guy really is this chill dude. And the music's there. The music's incredible. If I were to compare it to anything, I would almost say he kind of gives me with the songwriting, I feel like he gives me modern day Beatles vibes. Like just maybe with the songwriting, but I get modern day Beatles vibes from him. Not saying that I'm holding him at the same regard of the Beatles, but great artist. And then for my third and final honorable mention, Tizo Touchdown. Big Tease. Love Tizo Touchdown. I think his big splash that he's made this year is absolutely incredible. I've never heard anybody sound like the kid. I've never heard anybody make music like that guy. I try to find where I'm trying to compare him to, and every time I just end up going, that's Tease. I don't know nobody else that does that. Gives that whole range on the whole album. And his songwriting's very unique. You can almost tell. His features on For All the Dogs, absolutely incredible. So I'm going, those are my 3 honorable mentions, ending with Tizo, and my winner for Best Male Artist of the Year. Love to all of these artists, but there can only be one winner, and damn it was hard to pick. Took me a couple days once I had them all written down. But my final win, my answer goes to Nas. So to pass the baton, who do you got?
For my nominations for Male Artist of the Year, I'm going to start off with a guy that's always hits his features. I haven't heard a feature from this guy that hasn't hit. So, and he still did numbers this year. My first nomination is J. Cole.
Okay.
I think he had an excellent year with not having any like major projects or anything like that. Like
I was about to say, that's a good one, but you're going to ruffle feathers on people where it's like, but he didn't drop the Fall Off yet, though. But I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it.
You can hold the fall off till you want. I mean, he still did some work this year.
Immaculate run for sure.
Next guy, I'm gonna give my next nomination to West Side Gun. Really love the project. I know he's out here working to, you know, when you talk about, you know, consistency and quality, I definitely think he's up there.
His shit's an art piece.
Yeah, and I mean, overall, I definitely think he
ain't the last time you're gonna hear that album get brought up again tonight.
No, not at all. For my third nomination, strictly off the numbers, I can't deny men lie, women lie, numbers don't. My third nomination is Bad Bunny.
Wow, you really making Dooley happy.
I gotta give it to him. He just does
great
the numbers.
Album, great album, great numbers. You're not wrong. Great match at Backlash. A lot of people forget that. So I'm definitely not mad at that pick.
Yeah,
surprised, but not mad at it.
My fourth nomination is gonna be Nas. Great year. Okay. Like you said, he dropped those 3 albums. They're all great pieces of work. Just the overall, you know, quality is it's there. You have to admit it. The work, the quality, I can't deny that. 3 albums, 1 year, they're all good. Come on. Like, how many
amazing
people can
run.
Do that? Right.
1-800 Nas and hit.
And for my 5th nomination and my winner, you said it earlier, he had a great run. His album did great. Got J. Cole's first #1 song on the billboards. I gotta give it to the boy. It's a little bit of bias, but it's Drake. That's my male artist of the year.
That's your male artist of the year?
Yeah.
I look up in my phone and I see like 20 teens. Nadine, Justine, Christine, Charlene, Pauline, Claudine. And I pack them in this phone like some sardines. All right, I just had to do that one time. If I never did that, I'd be upset with myself. So you got Drake is your winner.
Drake is my winner.
Nas is mine. Which we had some agreements there. I mean, I had Drake as a nomination. I had Nas as my winner. So we had those two alike. What was your honorable mentions in that one?
I didn't have any honorable mentions.
No honorable mentions for male artist of the year. Nope. They're not always a given. Sometimes you have less, sometimes you got more. So now, female artist of the year. Now it's time for the females. Now it's time for the females to come out. So, who do you got to kick us off with female artist of the year?
For my first nomination for female artist of the year, it is, and this is strictly based off of the hype. You can't miss this lady right now, honestly. Like, she's everywhere. Sexy Red.
Big Sexy.
That is my first female artist of the year nomination. She's just had a good run this year. She's definitely got everything behind her right now, full momentum.
Oh, the machine's behind her. I'll tell you that 100%.
She's kind of got it, you know, whether you don't, I'm not really a fan, but she could be a superstar in this game. So, and she's had a great year. My next nomination is Nicki Minaj.
Okay.
Also had a great year, and just was it last week? Just last week gave us a pretty solid album. Some good features, a couple cool samples, a little too much, you know, obvious samples for me personally, but
everybody,
it's still a good album. It was pretty solid, so I got to give her that. My third nomination is Ice Spice.
Okay,
couple big hits, worked with the Barbie, got that feature with Taylor Swift. So, you know, she's had a solid year, and like we said with Sexy Red, she's got the momentum behind her. Like,
yeah, those two go on tour together. That sells tickets.
Yeah, like
that sells tickets.
So right now, that's my third nomination. My fourth nomination is SZA.
Okay, wow, we are actually pretty alike on this.
She obviously carrying off the SOS. I mean, it's been played. I still can't like turn on my car without hearing that song. Played.
Better Than Control.
Numbers again. I mean, quality, it's there. That's my fourth
You're
nomination.
number one for like 12 weeks.
Yeah.
Like 3 months.
It was ridiculous.
Like, it's absolutely nutty.
My female artist of the year and fifth nomination, based off the numbers, the tour,
here we go.
The Time Person of the Year, Taylor Swift is my female artist of the year. I can't deny what she has done this year.
I mean, Reddit's going to go nutty on that one, too. Reddit hates it when I say that. I know Doomer hates it, too. He hates my guts when I say that. But I just had to get my shit off on that. But Taylor Swift winning. I'm not upset about it because obviously, I mean, when the Grammys, when their nominations came out, I mean, she's on every fucking one of them. Somehow she's probably male artist of the year, too. But they're going to be like, well, we can give it to her through Kelsey, right? But have him sing a song. But overall, though, my thing with it as to why I'm not going to include Taylor, but I am glad that you did, is just because I feel like it's almost too obvious.
Very fair.
That's the only thing with that one. Because you are right. You are right. I mean,
I couldn't get past not
as
giving
far
it
as
to her
a female artist goes, I don't know who had a better year than her. So you are right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way to combat that. I don't know what stat somebody could try to pull out to combat that. Like, not enough people shake ass to the music like Ice Spice. No, but
trust me, I'm not even a Swiftie. I don't like it, but I'm not a fan of hers. I don't hate her, but it's not. It's almost undeniable. Like you said, it's just too obvious. Like,
yeah, I mean, Time Person of the Year. Time Person of the Year. Nobody realized how major that is. You know who else was Time Person of the Year, but we won't dive into it? Adolf Hitler. I know, crazy, ain't it?
Yeah.
Little did they know what was around the corner. But they're like, can we get that magazine back? But do you have any honorable mentions for that one?
I do not. My artist of the year did not get honorable mentions.
Okay. Well, then to pass the stick back to me, female artist of the year. This year it was tough because a lot of ladies dropping a lot of great music. You'll hear me say that 1,000 times tonight. Turn that into a drinking game. Every time I say a lot of great music, drink, go. Number one. So we agree on most of ours. We do agree on most of it.
Yeah.
I got Big Sexy, my first nom, which I'm actually going to give all my noms, and then I'm actually going to state the winner. We'll do that from now on.
Okay.
So to build a little bit extra suspense. But Big Sexy, number one nomination for me. Boom. Like you said, I mean, I'm really just agreeing with you. Machines behind her, phenomenal year. That brand, I know people hate it when I say it, but remember, I think everything's WWE. The gimmick's there. She lives the gimmick. It's her. The music's authentic. And I'll be honest, I've been bumping that. I don't even know what the damn project's called, but it's her dropping ass on the cover, and she dropped the deluxe too with the Chief Keef feature. That shit goes hard. That shit's a bop. And Ski Yee, come on. Ski Yee was maybe the song of the summer. At least the song of the fall. But Sexy Red, got to give it to her as the first nomination. Second nomination, I got SZA. I mean, as far as it goes with her, again, incredible run. Her features, for example, she didn't miss when she had them. I know she didn't do very many, but like Rich Baby Daddy with Sexy Red, for example, both slayed it. Her Slime You Out feature on For All the Dogs. Hearing those two together was incredible. That SOS run. She's been on an incredible tour all year long. I wish I could catch her. And she also said that my music was fire back in 2013. So I am legally obligated to make her a nomination on this. I do let my bias speak when it comes to SZA. Thank you, SZA. My third nomination, the Barbie Queen. The queen of the Barbs herself, Miss Nicki Minaj. Have to give it to Onika. Love Nicki. Yeah, absolutely love Nick. Absolutely love Nicki. Got to give it to her, especially with Pink Friday 2. Features like she did on the Pink Tape with Uzi, just absolutely incredible. Love absolutely everything that she's done this year. And plus, I'm a Barb. I had no shame in it. I think that everybody's about to be a smash with Lil Uzi. I can't believe that it's not hit TikTok yet and ran rampant because it's just got that kind of beep and got that beat and that bop to it. My fourth nomination. Now, here's where we dive into a little bit of the underground scheme of things. I go Love the Genius. Drumworks own. Love the Genius. She put out a phenomenal tape with DJ Green Lantern. Green tape. Absolutely phenomenal. Love the project. You'll hear me bring this up a little bit later, but her feature on Conway's album, Actually, the first time I heard it brought a little bit of a tear to my eye. I can't even lie. And then everything that she did with the Rory joint, working with Rory and Jay Skeese on that. You got her multiple verses on Drumwork album, multiple verses on Conway projects, multiple verses on Jay Skeese songs as well. Got to give that to Love the Genius as my 4th nomination. My 5th nomination is the Deli Queen herself, Miss Ice Spice, the Miss America of the Bronx. Love you, Ice Spice. I am a munch. So again, I am legally obligated to make her a nomination. So I'm going to ask you the question. Who do you think my winner is out of those 5? I got to go with SZA as my winner. For the 4th annual Female Artist of the Year award, she didn't drop for years, so I didn't get to include her, I feel like, in any of the categories. So this year it feels great to say that my winner of Female Artist of the Year is SZA. And we did agree on most.
Yeah.
I mean, I had Love the Genius where you had Taylor Swift, and Taylor Swift was your winner. However, though, I did have 3 honorable mentions for Female Artist of the Year as well. I got Chica, number 1, who I think dropped a phenomenal project that flew under the radar, which is criminal because she's rapping at a very, very high level on that. And I think that's a sleeper of its own. Number 2, I know that I'm not her ideal fan base, but I am a big fan of this woman. And as much as I love to make my jokes, one thing you will never hear me joke about is how amazing and how great of an artist she is and how great of a pen she has. Again, dropped a great project. Didn't hop on much. In fact, I don't think anything at all. But a phenomenal project with high replay value. I go with No Name. I love her album Namesake that she dropped. Actually, I forget what the album name of that was. My bad if I slipped up. But I think it might be called Namesake. But I do love that project, and I think she deserved a nod, at least an honorable mention for that. And then my 3rd, even though I don't listen to her on my own, I know Wifey listens to her quite often, and I know that she's big and she's popular on the radio. I hear her shit all the time. I'm giving it to Mrs. Put It on the Floor, Miss Lotto, as an honorable mention. I'm giving Lotto the honorable mention nod. I think she deserves it. And then, of course, Taylor Swift, even though I didn't have that down, but Taylor Swift because, again, iconic, legendary run that I don't even know could ever be duplicated. I really don't know if that could ever be duplicated. You can do a lot of those things she did, becoming Time Person of the Year, probably not going to be in your cards. That's very hard to come by if you're not a politician or a troop. If you're neither of those things, probably not getting it. Seeing some Love Lotto, good brother Doom with the Love Lotto. Did want to mention what he said as well. He said, I guess I just don't hear what everyone else hears with Sexy Red, because I still think her talent remains to be seen. That's just me, though. And that's fair, because she's definitely got her people that are not sold yet.
Oh, I mean, I don't listen to her music, but
I
couldn't deny the run.
I actually do listen to her music.
She's got hype behind her right now.
So far we got Nas as Best Male Artist, Drake as Best Male Artist, Taylor Swift as Best Female, and Sexy Red as Best Female. And SZA as Best Female. But they're all amazing. They're all best in their own ways. But I give SZA the dub. So where do you want to pivot to next, Coos? I'll let you call it.
Oh.
You want to do Best Feature, Best Featured Artist?
Let's do Best Feature.
Best Feature.
Yeah.
Okay. So, for Best Feature, it was tough. This one's hard because, like, the research for it isn't that easy. You know what I mean? Like, you got to go through the track list and be like, oh, fuck, yeah, I forgot he was on that. Like, oh, shit. Like, I know I make my year-end, like, my monthly wrap-ups.
Yeah.
But even then, I would, like, look at an album and I'm like, there's no way I should have only included 3 tracks off that album. Hold on, let me go look at it. And I'll be like, oh, my God, I forgot he was on that. So, for Best Feature Artist, here we go. Best Feature? Oh, yeah, Best Feature. Best Feature. To kick us off. Act Up. Young Nudie, Killer Mike off of the Michael album. First nomination. Why I have that in there is one of the things that I look at when I go into Best Feature is not necessarily what was like the biggest hit, but I look at what's more so the biggest hit for that person's career is one of the things that I look at it as. like where I've heard that artist per se for years, but I've never heard him do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. And why I say Young Nudie on Act Up, because Michael had a lot of great features. I mean, that album's phenomenal.
Yeah,
it got
it's
Grammy nominated, much deserved, I believe, as well. But I give that one to Young Nudie because I will stand 10 toes and say that I do believe that is the best verse he's ever had in his career. I mean, it is absolutely phenomenal. He goes off for like a minute 15, maybe a minute and a half. He keeps his usual Young Nudie flow, but he's really getting some bars off in there. Hearing him rap next to Killer Mike on that level like that, I thought that was a big moment for the guy. I'll be honest, I didn't really like Peaches and Eggplants when it first came out. But then the didn't really like that when it first came out. But then when I heard that feature, I was like, hold on, he can do that too. Let me go back and listen to this shit again. And then I listened to it. I'm like, yeah, this is damn good. And I saw the other features, been keeping up with him that he also dropped this year. And he's knocked them all out of the park. I think whatever Young Nudie's next album is, I think is the one that stands out. Because he's showing that kind of like a Sauce Walka. He can do both. He now has no restraint on him. He can rap his ass off if he wants. He showed it. And I love that. My second pick for nomination, I go first person shooter. Okay. J. Cole. I mean, absolutely iconic feature. The video's iconic. You got him doing the Spider-Man meme as me looking at Drake. Like, you know, the whole way they did the video down to, I mean, just the execution on it. And getting to hear after all these years later, you finally get to hear Drake and Cole on record again like that. Yeah, I think it's just absolutely amazing. So for my second nomination, I got to go first person shooter Cole. For number 3, I go Big Sean on The Great Escape with Larry June and The Alchemist on Palisades, California. Nice. So when you drop it, homie, very soon, we're still waiting on that drop, Sean Don, because I am a big fan. But absolutely love that feature. Thought that was incredible. Got to give it to Palisades, California, Big Sean on that nomination. For my 4th nomination, I go Kitchen Lights, Stove God Cooks. I give it to Stove God on Kitchen Lights. And that goes right back to what I said about Young Nudie. When Stove God came in on Kitchen Lights, 2 bars in, you knew we were getting a moment. Something was happening. It was like, oh shit. Like, he comes in with the Kitchen Lights. Typical Stove God fashion. I'm like, this is about to make me want to go upstairs and grab the pots and pans out. Like, holy shit, I'm going to want to cook. But my 5th nomination is one of my female Artist of the Year nominations. Love the Genius on Won't He Do It with the record Won't He Do It with Conway the Machine on Con's album. Like I said, when I mentioned her as a nomination, that verse brought a tear to my eye because that verse, to me, it's the best verse of her career, and it happened right when it needed to happen. And how Conway even said it in the interview, which I thought was amazing, was he actually said that he was going to have that track go first. But when he listened back, he said, that reminds me of when I was on the cow. And that's why Gunn just ended up saying, man, that ain't even my song no more. That's yours. And that's kind of how it felt. Like, literally, the whole record sounds like, because Conway signed her, for those that don't know, the drum work. That's the female drum work. And he, like I said, he was going to have her at the first track, but he ended up having her verse go last because he thought it was that special and it should close out because it's like, that's his work now as the label head. And the whole record sounds like an alley-oop where he raps his ass off, gets the crowd's attention, so to speak, and then goes, you got this, girl. And she comes in and fucking bodies it. I mean, she's giving her life story in one verse. And it's fucking nuts. So on that note, I think it may have just spoke for itself because of how I just reacted to it when I said it, because of how happy that record makes me. But what do you think one of my best features? That. Look, all those were great features that I listed, and there were so many more great features. I wish this thing could be 25 nominations so you knew how many of these records I loved. But at the end of the day, as far as stamping her name, and then from that made the Green Lantern tape into then the drum work album, it literally felt like Conway said, hey, let me throw you this oop, girl. Yeah. Boom. Knock that shit out of the park. Boom. Yeah. Hit a grand slam with it. I got to make that end the album now because nobody wants to go after that. That's how good it is. So that's my winner on that one. For my honorable mentions, I only got 2. Like I said, I wish I could have more. I could have, I guess, if I wanted to, but we'd be here all night. My 2 honorable mentions are Maynard Vignette with JID, because JID does a certain flow and rhyme scheme on that I don't think is humanly possible. I can't even rap along to it. It breaks my jaw and my teeth clank when I try to rap along to it. I literally don't know how he does it. But I like I said, I would go for it if I could. I legitimately can't, and I know what the lyric is too. But no, he does some alien shit on that. So Maynard Vignette. However, I didn't have him as a nomination only because it kind of got smothered with other verses. Okay. Like T.I. really has like a good verse on it. Killer Mike has a good verse on it. So it's kind of like, and he had a great verse, but another factor was it only was about 45 seconds. Okay. So he didn't really carry it on. My other nomination is a little bit of my R&B realm. So let me get into my R&B bag if you don't mind real quick. I'm going with Chloe on BJ the Chicago Kid's album. I'm going with BJ the Chicago Kid and Chloe, Honey. I'm going with her verse on Honey. Because you take her verse off that record is not anywhere near where it is. Hearing a man and a woman go back and forth on that record, talking about that, and getting the perspective of 2 people in love, but lives are hectic, but we still find time to spend with ourselves. Love the whole message of the record. Thought that was incredible. And I've been bumping it ever since. And that album is also criminally underrated, and so is that song. But now with that being said, the stick goes back to you, my good friend. Now you're in the hot seat.
I'm gonna take the stick.
What do you got?
My first nomination for best feature of the year is Can't Nobody DMX. That one was and there wasn't much DMX to it, but I really enjoyed what he did with it. And I'm glad that we got something even relative that would be for DMX. I feel like he did justice with it.
It wasn't wasted.
Yes. It was not a wasted thing. He didn't give him a whole chorus or nothing. It was a nice little sample, and I really
all I need is a beat and a DMX sample.
Yes. So that was my first nomination. There, I just thought it was super cool, and I think he did it the right way.
100%.
My second nomination is Palisades, California. Big Sean absolutely killed that beat. Nice. I love that album, but Big Sean definitely put his work onto that beat for sure. We are waiting for the drop.
Yeah.
Fucking
overdue when it comes to Sean Don.
My third nomination, he has 2 nominations on this list.
Wow, okay.
My first nomination of this artist is J. Cole for All My Life.
Lil Durkenstein.
Yes.
Smirky.
I'm not a Dirk fan, but J. Cole gives me a reason to listen to that song, and I honestly, he murders it.
Incredible.
He doesn't miss. I mean, as a feature artist, he can't.
That song charted all summer long.
Yes.
It
was a hit for sure. And I definitely, J. Cole did his thing on it. The fourth nomination is also from J. Cole for First Person Shooter.
Yeah.
Absolutely, again, just did his
Big
thing.
as the what?
Big as the Super Bowl. Got his first #1 on the Billboard. I mean, I can't not include it as a nomination. My fifth nomination.
Okay.
Stove God Cook's Kitchen Lights.
Wow, I did not expect us to have this much of an agreement on
this.
What
an incredible track. I mean, on the chorus, he does it perfectly. His verse is nice. Honestly, that track is his to me.
I was about to say, remember how I said the alley-oop with Khan? Long? That sounded like Gunn was like, man, take that shit.
Yeah.
Slam that bitch.
He did his thing from the chorus to his verse. It was just phenomenal.
Incredible.
That is for sure my fifth nomination. And my winner for best feature of the year
Can I guess?
is Stove God Cook's Kitchen Lights.
Really? Yes. I was not going to guess that, so it's a good thing I didn't guess.
I love that track. Absolutely incredible.
He said Stove God bodies the feature every time.
Yeah. I mean, he
ain't wrong.
He murdered that shit. He did the chorus and his verse, and they were both great. I have 4 honorable mentions for this.
Wow, okay. Now you got 4 honorable mentions, making up for the last 2.
Yes.
Okay, what do we got?
For the last 2. For my first honorable mention, Peaches and Eggplant, 21 Savage.
I should have known that was coming.
I love 21 Savage. He did his thing. And that gets me. I didn't really fuck with the song when it first came out, but I couldn't help but over time start. Yeah, it's over time I started to jam it. My second honorable mention: Shaq and Kobe, Dame Dollar, Shaquille O'Neal. They both did their thing, I think, on that track for being NBA players and everything. And the fact that they both hopped on it to go with Shaq and Kobe, like, that was pretty cool.
Wow, I did not expect you to say
fucked with that. It was pretty cool. It was a very cool moment. I liked it. My third one has a lot of bias.
Okay.
Goated, Denzel Curry. I like that record a lot, and I think Denzel
with Armani White.
Yeah,
I like that record. I love Armani White.
When he did that verse, I fucked with that verse.
That was
heavy.
big for Armani too. That was a good look from Denzel.
I like that track a lot. I couldn't help but be bumping that one. My fourth honorable and final mention: Juicy J, Super Bowl.
Woo!
Juicy J.
Won't he do it?
I can tell you, there. You know when Juicy J is gonna kill a verse, and he did it. Juicy J be doing his thing.
I like that pick. That was one of Juicy's better features in recent memory too.
Mm-hmm.
Like that sounded like one where it wasn't like, all right, send me the wire, send me the beat, and I'll give you something. That was like, hold on, I want to be on this. Like, this is dope.
Yes.
And I love it when Khan does that. By the way, that went off at the show. Like, a lot of people even know Juicy's verse without anybody even rapping it. Because Khan was like, oh, y'all fucking with that one, huh? And it's like, yeah, we love that shit. So that's a great pick. That one went over my head. Great pick. So, that being said, where would you like to pivot to since you'll be kicking us off?
You want to go to Rookie of the Year?
We can do Rookie of the Year. Let's do Rookie of the Year. One of the categories that I feel like is always hardest because the older I get, the less in tune I get to be. But this year, just based on the pod, I feel like I got to finally got to dive in a little bit more. Okay. Getting to listen to a lot more music. So let's see what your picks are, though.
All right. For my first nomination of Rookie of the Year, Mr. Tizo Touchdown. He had a great year, did some features. His album's pretty solid. I can't deny that at all. He just was on a good run this year, and I can't deny that. My second nomination, Sexy Red. Again, a phenomenal year for her. Has the momentum behind her. We've already said it a couple times, but she might have that it factor. I'm not a huge fan of the music, but I know she does numbers.
So far, we do agree on. We're 2 for 2 on agreeing so far. To give you a little bit of spoiler on mine, but I love that you included Tizo in there because I wasn't even sure how you felt about that album. I know that like you liked obviously the features on For All the Dogs, but I didn't know how you felt about like that album.
I listened to it. It was solid. I don't remember saving too much from it, but it wasn't. Just because I didn't save a lot, I don't consider it bad music. Like.
Also, you're not just quick to save something like I am.
No.
I'll add something without even hearing it, depending on who's on it. So, who do you got as your third nomination?
My third nomination, I have. Oh, where'd it go? Rob 49. I did some diving when we were doing our research, and I liked what Rob 49 did with some of his features this year. I liked, some of the main tracks that I was hearing. I got to give him a nomination at the least. I definitely think he could be an up and comer. I don't know if he'll ever be like a superstar in the game, but he definitely can make something.
For what it's worth, I did think he had one of the better verses on the XXL Cyphers. I mean, he had one of the better ones that at least stood out. Like, at least it looked like he tried.
Yeah.
Like, some of the other people didn't even look like they tried. Like,
my fourth nomination is Finesse 2 Times.
Okay.
He did a lot
Finesse.
of
2 of them.
I seen he did a lot of feature work as far as some of these albums, and he had a couple of songs that he was featured on that were pretty nice. I definitely had to give him a nod. I definitely, think he could be like something in the game
for sure.
A little bit too. He definitely has, he's got the brand.
He sounds like Yo Gotti, but I think he's a better rapper. I know that sounds crazy to say.
Yeah.
But
I can hear that.
He's kind of got the Yo Gotti sound, but with better music.
My fifth nomination for Rookie of the Year is that Mexican OT.
Wow.
I fuck with that Mexican OT. I think the album that he dropped this year was pretty nice. Johnny Dang is a fucking bop in my books. That shit's nice.
You got to re-get me hip to that, actually, I think.
You got the Paul Wall feature on there.
Paul Wall?
Yeah. I got to give the nomination to that Mexican OT. And now for my winner,
I wouldn't even know where to guess on this one.
I might shock you. It definitely did not have a better year than any of these people, I think, in my books. But I really like the album, and I really like his sound. My winner is that Mexican OT for Rookie of the Year.
For Rookie of the Year, that Mexican OT.
Mm-hmm.
I fuck with Mexican OT. That album was solid. Okay. I guess I do got to get re-hip to that.
That Mexican OT.
Guess I'm off my game a little bit with that one.
And then for my only honorable mention.
You only got one? Okay.
For Rookie of the Year, Lola Brooke.
Lola! Hell yeah. Lola and Stitch. You got to
Gator season, So Disrespectful, and Back to Business are hard as fuck.
Lola's dope. Love Lola. I do think Lola will be a star in the game. And like why I say that is like I feel like she's one of the ones. I'm not saying who writes and who doesn't, but that Lola pen be. She can do some hit type shit. She can rap, go New York on you. I love that shit.
Yep.
So Rookie of the Year, your winner was
that Mexican OT.
That Mexican OT. My Rookie of the Year nominations. Number 1, Big Sexy. I got Sexy Red. Second one, because I said it, we do agree on this one. Tizo Touchdown. Let me tell you right now, I could sit here for 4 hours and there's still not enough good things I could tell you that I love about Tizo Touchdown. Because his sound, the songwriting, the way the album is even sequenced different. Like you can finish that actually if you want doing this. But the Tizo run plus like again those features, the other features that he did, the singles that he dropped, Rock Paper Scissors, maybe at the beginning of the year or something like that. Absolutely love everything that Tizo's done. That's my second nomination. So we got Big Sexy, we got Tizo. Number 3, I'm a channel the BSF, the Black Soprano Family. We're going with Fuego Bass. I loved his project that he dropped, Biggest Since Canby. Appreciate the love, see? But yeah, everything that he's done has just been absolutely incredible. That the BSF project, the Black Soprano Family project, his features that he's done, the feature run this year, and then that Biggest Since Canby project, that was a phenomenal debut album. I think that was absolutely amazing. His features, like on El Camino's project, was nuts. Love everything that he's been doing. That's my third nomination. My fourth, we're going back to the females on this one. I'm going Coco Jones. Dipping into my R&B bag. I love Coco Jones. She dropped a phenomenal project this year that I would consider like her splash on the scene, which is something that I look at when I'm going into Rookie of the Year, is how well they splashed on the scene and when it was like an immediate fresh impact for them. So I got to go with Coco as my fourth nomination. Love her project. If you haven't checked it out, please do. And then my fifth, we agree on. I do got Finesse. 2 of them. Love everything that guy's been doing. I think he had the best of the XXL ciphers. Absolutely incredible what he did. And now on that note, who would you take a guess as my winner? Only one guess. The guy that I said I couldn't say enough good things about. I give it away in my intro, but Tizo Touchdown, he gets my W for Rookie of the Year. And I know that he had the feature on Call Me If You Get Lost with Tyler. I know. That was the first time I ever heard of him. But this year, that album paired with the Drake features, paired with everything else that he's done this year, and just the way, like, go back to the gimmick thing, he really be living that gimmick. And it's super cool. I've loved every interview I've seen of the guy. I think Tizo Touchdown, you can hear me say it right now, will be a mega star. Mega star. No way he wouldn't be. Not with that artistry. So for my winner, I go Tizo Touchdown, and you said the Mexican OT.
Yep.
My 2 honorable mentions. Big Lola. I had to give it to Lola Brooke as an honorable mention. I wanted to put her up there, but with those 5 names, I felt like it had a hard time placing her up there with them. But I got to give it to Lola Brooke as an honorable mention. And my second honorable mention is Friday. I kind of like his voice, his melodies. I kind of like where he went with the XXL cipher because, like, he stood 10 toes. They were like, rap on this crazy good beat. He was like, nope, I'm going to sing on it. And I respect that. That's a ballsy move. High BPM, and he's just going to do a melody over it. But those are my 2 honorable mentions for Rookie of the Year. Tizo gets the dub. Mexican OT gets the dub. So on that note, let's pivot right into what do you want to – where should I lead next? What are you thinking? What are you feeling? I'll let you carry us. This is your first time joining the Sleepless annual 4th annual awards. Love having you, Koos. You want to do best collab?
Yeah,
the one where I literally, and he can attest that I'm not lying, I literally wrote my winner, picked my winner as we were basically going live. Like not even 5 minutes before, I was like, I have to pick a winner. I don't want to call this on the fly. So I just went with my gut. So to lead right into that, here's my 5 nominations for Collab Album of the Year. Pain Provided Profits, Conway the Machine and Jay Skis. Absolutely love everything that, like, once again, that Con's been doing all year. Love everything that Jay's been doing all year. Love everything that Drumwork's been doing all year. I mean, I think that's a beautiful way to get the label just off and running, full steam ahead, right off the ground. Waste no time. I love that. And that collab album right there was something special. I mean, I remember hearing it. And fun fact, it's one of the only 3 projects that I've actually bought on iTunes all year long. One of the only 3. There's only been 3, and that's one of them right there. And that was, I didn't even like buy it and then listen to it. I was listening to it, and I was like, hold on. Let me go buy this. Yeah, and Pain Provided, it was only like $3. That was the crazy thing when it dropped. It was like $2.99. I'm like, wow, okay. But Pain Provided Profits, amazing. Stefan Diggs, great record. Oh, God, I shouldn't even have brought up record names because I'm just getting so bad with them anymore. But love all the joints on that. Absolutely incredible project. Not very lengthy either, though. Only about 7 tracks. Okay. Now, number 2. Let me pump my brakes a little bit. My second nomination for Collab Album of the Year. I'm getting a little bit technical with it. And one of the things that I feel like we should mention when we're going over Collab Album of the Year is we had a whole talk, as I feel like we've done every year too, because it's always like, damn, it's tough. But this year it really, really was tough. The artist-producer combo, we try to stay away from, I think is fair to say, unless it's like a certain situation. And like what we mean by that is like one of the ways I look at it in my perspective is was it an artist producer combo where like you get a lot of features? Was it one where it's no features? Was it one where maybe that guy's also an artist himself, but like also does like, let me, make a project with you, and then they fuse that way? So with that being said, I'm playing on a technicality here. DJ Muggs and Madlib collabed and made Champagne for Breakfast. But the voice of the project, the guy that you hear for every track, I'm almost positive there's even no features, is Champagne for Breakfast. Mayhem Loren, DJ Muggs, Madlib. And I think that project is so, so amazing. The best of Mayhem Loren's career. Absolutely phenomenal record. Wish I could have copped that vinyl. It was like $120 on the site when it dropped. And I'm like, I can't commit to that. But hey, I'm jealous of everybody that got one because that's phenomenal. A phenomenal album. Number 3. Feel like these next 2 that I'm about to state are pretty obvious. I go Welcome to Collie Grove. You got Lil Wayne and 2 Chainz. I feel like that was a major splash. One of the best-selling collab albums of the year. And then number 2. I got Meek Mill and Rick Ross. Too Good to Be True. That's my 4th nomination for Collab Album of the Year. Once again, I feel like it's kind of obvious because you got 2 megastars. Yeah. It's double MG reuniting. You got Wale features. You got all that. So you just automatically, you get that nostalgia if you're us, to go back to those double MG days. So I got Too Good to Be True 4. And number 5 for my 5th nomination. Again, there's technicalities to this, so let's not take it too far. But I got Kate Tremine. Amine with Kate Trinata. And do you want to guess my winner? I don't know if you saw me write it down right before we went live, but what do you think I picked as my winner?
I want to say the DJ Muggs and Mayhem Loren.
As much as I would love to either give it to Pain Provided Profits or Champagne for Breakfast, because I just stared at those so much. And it's like, I love those projects. I love those projects. But I also love all of those projects. And I love Kate Tremine. And I think that was major for Amine's career. So my winner for Collab Album of the Year goes to Kate Tremine.
Okay.
And I'm giving it to that for this reason. Kate Tremine has been on a great run in the past years. I mean, he's been Grammy nominated. He's been killing it as he should. Absolutely phenomenal. No one can match the Kate Tremine sound. But somebody can match with it. And I've never heard anybody match with that sound better than Amine. And another reason why I wanted to give it to that is, I don't know if maybe I'm going to come off as a hater on this one, but I'm definitely not a hater because I love Amine. Correct me if I'm wrong, though, Kooz. I feel like his career was at the buzzer.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been.
I feel like it was at the buzzer.
I liked his last album that he dropped, but I feel like it had been a while since he had anything major drop. Like,
I forgot Bronx was on that.
oh, okay.
But no, it's been a while since he dropped. I mean, this was only his third album.
Yeah.
Like, only his third album. And I do believe it's his best album, and I'm actually going to jump off on the ledge. I'm notorious for jumping off on a ledge. I think that's the best project Kate Tremine has ever produced. The beats were fucking fire, and when hey, we're both artists. Try rapping over one of those beats. Good luck. Good luck. That BPM is shifting all over the place. But it's Amine's sound. And I really, really, really hope we get a Kate Tremine too. So with that being said, Kate Tremine is my winner. And my honorable mentions, I only got 2. I got Danny Brown and JPEG Mafia, Scaring the Hose Deluxe. Well, Scaring the Hose. And I got R.I.P. Human Art, Earth Gang and Spillage Village. Only about 7 tracks once again. But I'm telling you, man, that shit was slept on. Earth Gang and Spillage Village meshed so well together. I'll save part of my take on that for later so I don't ruin it. But that album was not talked about enough. And I was a little bummed about that. Because Earth Gang's been doing amazing. And the Dreamville run that they've been on, signed to Dreamville's been absolutely immaculate and impeccable. And to see that album get overlooked, that bummed me. That bummed me. And if I were to go out on the ledge again and say why I think it got overlooked, I think he got overlooked because they did it with Spillage. But you couldn't do the way they meshed with Spillage was just so awesome. But again, I keep that under my honorable mention. But my winner, Kate Tremine. Pass the baton to you.
Ooh. My first.
Yeah. 99.9 was something that popped in my head. Doomer mentioned 99.9, and that project is right up there with Kate Tremine. But actually, if I could only pick one, I'd pick Kate Tremine, even though I love both so much. But what do you got, brother?
My first nomination for Collab Project of the Year is Kate Tremine. It was definitely a nice sound. I like both of them. I was a fan of Amine's last album, so when this came out, I was going to check it out anyways. And I really enjoyed the sound of it. It was fun. Nice beats, good production, good, just overall quality.
Such an easy listen.
Yes. My second nomination, Welcome to College Grove. Wayne and 2 Chainz. 2 Chainz is one of my favorite artists. I was excited for this. The Wayne and Chainz combo again was definitely going to be dope. There's some great records on that track, some nice beats. I just think it was as a whole.
And 50 Cent narrated it.
And just a nice album. Like. My third nomination, Too Good to Be True, Meek Mill, Rick Ross. Like you said, back to the nostalgia days of the MMG boys.
When you heard that Maybach music.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. My
I'm
face
not the
got a
biggest
little
Rick
red.
Ross fan. I'm not the biggest Rick Ross fan.
That's why
some might even call me a Rick Ross hater.
Which would be fair in your case.
I really enjoyed the album. It was cool. I liked it. Hearing, Meek Mill and Rick Ross go back and forth, on things. It was nice. It was overall.
It brought back a lot of good memories.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. My fifth nomination, Scaring the Hose, JPEG Mafia, and Danny Brown.
So you got that as an official now.
I'm not a huge Danny Brown fan, but I really liked this album. A little bit
They
different
meshed
sounds. It meshed pretty well. There was a couple tracks I was like, this is a little goofy, but I know Danny Brown. Some of his bars be goofy too, and
That was before he got sober too.
yeah.
So that was like the last. That fun fact. That was like the last of his. Well, hopefully the last of his being fucked up, making music.
It was pretty cool. I liked it. And then my 5th nomination, I don't give a fuck if you want to say it counts or if it doesn't count because it came out late last year. My 5th nomination is Her Loss, Drake and 21 Savage.
Yeah, and I did just want to say, I know last year for the 3rd annual that I did have Her Loss as my winner. So I didn't include that under mine. I love that album so much. But we made an exception because, well, I know that's your boy, the boy. And 2, I just know how much you wanted to talk about that project. And it's getting nominated for Grammys. It's still nominated.
You know,
so
if it can get nominated,
it missed
for
the
Grammys
deadline
this year.
for this year's Grammy, so it's making it onto the one that's coming up.
So, you know what?
And I think I know what your winner is, so let's see what you got.
My winner is Her Loss, Drake and 21 Savage. I mean, there's just hits on there. Drake and 21 did their thing. You know, some people aren't a huge fan of the album. I can definitely understand that. But it's still, whether you liked it or not, it got listens. It did memes. Drake is great for getting himself memed. And look at that. They were fucking making WWE videos of Drake and 21 coming out. And
Can you do something for me?
Yeah. I mean, it
great album, man. I mean,
it did its thing.
And that tour that they did together, that It's All a Blur, where he's coming out through the crowd, ring walking and shit, and the fact that they performed those records and they went wild. I agree with. I can't be mad at that winning. I mean, come on, that's about to win probably Album of the Year alone for hip hop at the Grammys. Do you have any honorable mentions?
I do not. I do want to piggyback off of his honorable mentions, though. I didn't give them much attention, but he's got an ear. So I got to say his honorable mentions you should check out. They were probably worth the honorable mention.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, well, you said Scaring the Hose, but R.I.P. Human Art. Guys are tripping. Bobby Boucher. So on that note, we are doing the 4th annual Sleepless Awards. How do you feel about going right into Sleeper of the Year before we get to the juicy juice?
Let's do it.
All right, Sleeper of the Year. Lead the pack. What you got, Simon?
My first Sleeper of the Year is going to be an album from this artist.
Real quick. Sorry to interrupt the intro. One thing that I did want to make clear about Sleeper of the Year, just for those of you that are new. For Sleeper of the Year, you can either pick an album, you can pick an artist, or you can pick a song. All 3 qualify. Continue.
My first nomination is The Heavy Heart Volume 1, Joey Perp. Great little tape. Loved it. I remember we put that on right when we had gotten home from the zoo with doing the lights for Bellamy. And that immediately, both of our heads just started bobbing. I definitely think that was
I was like,
probably
Joey
an under the radar tape. Definitely think it's worth the check out.
However it go. Yeah, that shit's a banger.
My favorite track off there, I believe, was In the Kitchen freestyle.
Mine's However It Go. That's for sure my favorite.
I think that's a great track. I definitely think that was something that
he's like the Frank Ocean of rapping. He's literally like the Frank Ocean of rapping, and I love it. Like he never drops, and then just randomly on what was it?
It was a Friday, I think, or something. But it was like we got home at like 9 p.m.
And he was like, "Hey, I'm a little late. Don't mind me." And post the link. And it's like, all right, I know just based on that's about to be fucking hard. Like, I'm a little late, don't mind me. Like, what else you got?
My second nomination.
I love Sleeper.
It's also an album by an artist.
Okay.
My second nomination will be Boy Meets World by Sleepy Hollow. I definitely think that was a great project. And
very on brand there with Sleepy Hollow.
Yes, very on brand. Sleepy Hollow for in the Sleeper of the Year nominations.
I like it. Very on brand for us.
I definitely think that was an album you guys should check out. He's got that little bit of that Brooklyn sound. He can do a little bit more of like melodies and stuff too. But
you got to put me more onto him for sure. I got to hear more.
My third nomination is just the artist, Larry June. Dropped 2 great albums this year, and I know some people might be like, "Oh, Larry June, sleeper? He's not a sleeper." I understand, but like I feel like he doesn't get that attention he deserves still.
He doesn't.
So I have him
That's
as a
fair. He
nomination
doesn't.
for Sleeper of the Year. I think that Alchemist produced album was great. The next,
That was a classic, man.
I mean, dude,
Margie's Candy House.
great,
That first
great
verse on
records.
Margie's Candy's House. Holy shit.
So that's my third nomination. For my fourth nomination, I'm gonna do an album by an artist.
Okay.
My fourth nomination will be Mumble Rap 2 by Belly. That was another great project. Very short, easy listen, good bars, nice beats. I definitely think that was deserved a little more attention than what it probably got. And
You know what's crazy? He signed to XO. I just love throwing that out there. He
I love
signed to XO. I don't understand why the XO machine isn't behind him. If The Weeknd cuts a fart, it's on their Instagram page. They promoted his album 2 days afterwards. Sorry, I just had to get that off.
My fifth nomination, honestly, I don't even think this guy should be in the category, but I didn't have anywhere to fit him, really.
Okay.
He did have a phenomenal year. He had the great album. He dropped the deluxe for it. It was great. Good tracks. And he, I don't think that he's going to miss. And like, I definitely think he can do his thing for sure. And I definitely think that Dolph picked him a great person to work with. My fifth nomination is Key Glock. He did some great work this year.
Yes, he did. Yes, that man did. I've actually listened to help me out, Glaucoma.
Yep.
Is it Glaucoma 2?
Yep.
Yeah, I've been listening to that project actually since it dropped back in February. I saw the Randy Orton memes now that he's returned. They're going crazy, blowing up on TikTok. Good shit. Love that record, Ratchet. I love that Key Glock pick.
Key Glock.
Man, there's too much. I wish I could include him. That deluxe was that deluxe was incredible too. With the no hook, I love it when he does the no hook shit. I love a good no hook song. Fuck the hook. Give me 3 minutes of bars. I'm up for it. Come on now. Fuck the hook. But and his features too. I feel like that's a great mention to nod as well to him. I mean, he's done so many great features this year
too.
Shit, I think Gucci's Mane's best song of the year had the Key Glock feature on it.
Yeah.
So is that
you want to say you guys?
Mumble Rap 2?
My winner for Sleeper of the Year is Boy Meets World by Sleepy Hollow. I just think it's a great project. I think he deserves a little more attention. I don't feel right giving Key Glock Sleeper of the Year because he's not a sleeper. People know who he is, and he does numbers, but I just feel like he deserved to have something, and I don't know if he got enough recognition as far as other spots.
He didn't get the Dolph recognition that I think was the plan. I mean, I think he deserved it.
Yeah.
But like you said, they didn't, for whatever reason, it didn't carry over.
I know people fuck with him. Like, I don't feel right giving him Sleeper of the Year. I don't think he deserves to be held to that award.
So Sleepy Hollow, A Boy Meets World.
Yep. I think it's a great
People
album.
are slipping on Sleepy.
Yes.
Is what you're saying.
I like Sleepy.
We need to flip the pillow to the cold side and get hip to him.
Mm-hmm.
Big bet. We got to flip the pillow to the cold side. What are your honorable mentions?
No honorable mentions.
No honorable mentions. Okay. That's a plot twist of its own. I'm always curious to see which ones you got the honorable mentions for. Sleeper of the Year for me. Tough. I got a whole hodgepodge of some shit. For my first nomination, we agreed on one of them. We agreed on one Sleeper of the Year, which is crazy because of how much music came out. But I, as a whole album, also have Mumble Rap 2 with Belly.
It's a great album.
Loyalty versus Royalty, American Nightmare, Heroes versus Villains. Wait, no, that's not what that bitch is called. Heroic Villains or something like that.
Villains.
Yeah, Heroic Villains. Love that record. Love that album. Like you said, that's a definite Sleeper of the Year. I don't know what went wrong with that. I mean, you got the XO machine behind you, and it just failed you. And I'm so sorry to Belly and all of us supporters because, I mean, granted, hey, at the end of the day, we did get a great album, but nah, that shit should have been at least 50K first week sales to be happy. I mean, come on. But number 2, I got a song. I got Rich Mirages by Reason. And for those that don't know, I highly, highly, highly recommend you check that out, as well as I highly recommend you check out all of his noms and all of my noms for this as well. But I got to go with Rich Mirage's because the way he floated over that Chicago freestyle beat. Because that's a set, well, not beat, but how he used that flow. That I go through the underground garages.
Yeah.
Love the way he did that. I think that got really overlooked. And I go right back to how a machine failed somebody. You're signed to TDE, and your manager, your fucking manager, calls into your live stream interview and says, "Name me 10 Reason songs."
Yeah,
that's fucked up.
Yeah,
that's fucked up. And then people are like, "Oh, Reason doesn't even get loved by his own label." Yeah, he don't, and that's weird. That is weird, and I just think it's absolutely rough. King Koozie as well, but absolutely just blows my mind that TDE promotes everybody but Reason and Lance Skywalker. And TDE, I love you guys, but what the fuck are you doing to this guy? You had his manager calling him, bag on him. Number 3, Sleeper of the Year. Go back to album. I got Champagne for Breakfast. You've already heard me mention it as a collab album, but not enough people gave that recognition. Mayhem Loren, I'm just going to say it. As much as I love and I adore Action Bronson, Mayhem Loren's project was better than almost all of Action Bronson's discography with Madlib and DJ Muggs. That album did not get talked about enough. I feel like it got way, way too swept under the rug. And again, if you haven't checked it out, please do that. My 4th, I go into a record. For my 4th Sleeper of the Year pick, I go with Celebration Station, Don Tripp. And I know that's everybody's going, who, what? Here's what. Go check out Celebration Station by Don Tripp, and you'll see that I'm not tripping. No pun intended. But that is a banger. It's been one of my go-to songs as I'm trying to get amped for the day job during the day. You turn on Celebration Station. I turn on Celebration Station, and I go fucking wild. That's a bop. Again, no hook. Oh, actually, no, there is a hook. It's just kind of flows in between. Like, he just randomly stops and does it for like 2 bars, then dives back in. But love Celebration Station. However, my 5th Sleeper of the Year, I got an artist. But I'm going to also attach an album to them. I got Emotional Oranges. The group that Rory manages, for those that don't know. I got to go with Emotional Oranges because just the way that I know their tour this year, which again, I don't necessarily include that as a factor, was one of those shows that I really wish I could have catched, but it just didn't come anywhere around near me. Pause. But I also just love that album that they put out and love how they've been rolling out the content and the music videos associated with it. Absolutely think what they've done as Emotional Oranges is incredible. Love that group. That's definitely I feel like a great Sleeper of the Year. You see me sending it in the chat all the time. Yep. So for my official Sleeper of the Year winner, what do you think takes the dub? It's tough. I actually just, no kidding, right here on the live, I fucking show you. I called this one on the fly as I was doing the intros. I wanted to save one for as I called it on the fly, and I thought about it once more. My winner for Sleeper of the Year, Mumble Rap 2, Belly. And I'm going to say it one last time. That XO machine, if I was talking to who's ever in charge of that, I'd say you fucking failed him. You failed that man. That was a great project with great features, and you fucking failed him. Like I said, Weekend walks onto any stage, walks outside. That fucking Instagram page posts that shit. Belly dropped his album, and they didn't post it until 2 days later, and they didn't even officially post it. They posted it on their fucking Instagram story. You failed that man. That's bullshit. I ran a little hot right there. I love Belly, and I didn't like the way they did my man. I'm riding for you, Belly, damn it. I'm right with you. Bullshit.
Great project.
I didn't like how they did that. So my Sleeper of the Year, I go Mumble Rap 2. Okay. My honorable mentions, I go White Dress by an artist named Mike. If you haven't heard of him, go check out Best Man and check out White Dress and start with White Dress. For any of you that either plan on getting married, love a woman, want to stay with her the rest of your life, go listen to White Dress. And my other honorable mention goes right back to how I said R.I.P. Human Art for an honorable mention for Collab Album of the Year. Bobby Boucher by Earth Gang and Spillage Village. The video was insane. It got the Adam Sandler, Billy Madison, or either Billy Madison or Waterboy cameo. Yeah, I think it was the Waterboy cameo. And absolutely phenomenal video, phenomenal record. One of my personal songs of the summer. So I had to say Bobby Boucher. And yes, I do believe he is still involved with EXO. So, to pass the baton back to you, good brother. What do you got as your sleepers of the year? Yes, you did. So your winner was?
Boy Meets World, Sleepy Hollow.
Yes, Boy Meets World, Sleepy Hollow. And my winner was Mumble Rap 2, Belly. So, now we pivot on. Where should we lead to next? We're almost to juicy shit. I think all of it's juicy.
I think we have best featured artist.
We got best featured artist. We got
song of the year and album
producer of the year, song of the year, and album of the year. Producer of the year. So let's dive into the beats. Let's dive into the ones and twos. So to kick off producer of the year, I'm going to hold the baton. I'm going to start off with my first nomination. I'm going with Hit Boy. Hit Boy, first nomination. Why? Well, first off, you got all three projects with Nas. So you got King's Disease 3, you got Magic 2, you got Magic 3. Then, on the other side of that, you got Surf or Drown Volume 3, Surf or Drown Volume 4, with Big Hit, his dad. And he's been producing a lot of other records throughout the year as well. That man's workload is insane. I don't know when he sleeps. So I go with Hit Boy for my first nomination. Second nomination, I go with The Alchemist. Good old Alan the Chemist. Gotta go with Alchemist. I mean, he dropped a great project with Earl. I don't know how to pronounce it for the life of me, but he dropped a great project with him. He dropped The Great Escape with Larry June. He dropped his own project, I believe, as well. And he's been rapping this year, which is also incredible. So that's my second nomination. My third nomination. Conductor, we have a problem. Conductor, we have a problem. Conductor. So I go with Conductor Williams. Now, I actually did that pretty good. I haven't tried that before. But I go with Conductor Williams as my third nomination. Plus, I mean, come on. 8 p.m. in Charlotte. When I heard that song start off with Conductor, I'll be honest, guys, I may have pissed myself. A stream of piss ran down my leg when I knew that he was about to do a timestamp record over a Conductor beat. Oh my God, my mind was blown. Number 4. Now, this one, when I did research, I had to remind myself of. I forgot that this guy dropped the project, and it was great. Got to give it to Swizz Beatz. Love Swizz Beatz project. Forget what it's called, per usual, but love what he dropped. Love Swizz Beatz project. I don't know what else he's done off the top of my head this year. I think he did Can't Nobody, though, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So I give that one to Swizz Beatz, my fourth nom. And my fifth and final nomination is Producer of the Year, and he drops every year, and every single beat he does is amazing. He did the Across the Spider-Verse soundtrack. My fifth nomination goes to, I'm not going to say his tagline, but Metro Boomin. And he does indeed want some more. Well, he gets one more nomination from me. So for my fifth and final nomination, I go Metro Boomin. Yeah, that was the 2 Flying High EPs. Hell yeah. I should know that. I rapped over those beats. So, for my winner of Producer of the Year, who do you think I give it to? I'm going to give you a hint. You can call the number 1-800-NAZN and hit. I think as far as Producer of the Year goes, I mean, it was the year of great production. I mean, such a phenomenal list. I mean, with those 5 given. At least I'm excited to see what yours are, but for those 5, I got to give it to Hit Boy, man. The Nas projects, his projects, him rapping, his dad rapping, the beats are fire. I've rapped over a couple different ones. I got to give that one to Hit Boy. And then my honorable mentions are Take Keith.
Okay.
Take Keith. Fuck these individuals up. And I got ATL Jacob. He a fucking millionaire. So my other honorable mention, I got ATL Jacob with Take Keith, with my winner being Hit Boy.
Okay.
So who do you got?
My first nomination is The Alchemist.
Okay.
And I just gotta piggyback off everything you said. Great year production wise. I mean, The Great Escape is a phenomenal album. The production is amazing. He's just did his thing all year with everything he's done. I don't think he's missing. Like you said, he's even started to rap a little bit. Like,
And well.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta be being around all these cool, good rappers around here. I was
It rubbed
pick
off
up
on
some
it.
stuff. You know,
Rubbed off on it.
I just really enjoyed everything he did too. It was just a phenomenal year for him.
My favorite producer of all time. I just wanted to drop that.
Second nomination, Hit Boy. Dude did not miss with his production this year. He had the 3 albums with Nas. He did some other work. I mean, just like, again, you want to talk about workload and quality. He had both of them, and I have to give him a nomination.
Absolutely.
My third nomination, Benny X.
Ooh!
I really like some of the production that he did this year, and he had a really good year. And he worked with my boy a lot.
I was about to say he did Search and Rescue, right?
Yep, he did a couple songs on For the Dogs. I mean, I think he had a good year. I think he's definitely deserving of the nomination. Fourth nomination, Conductor.
We have a problem.
Another great year. I mean, and like I said, he just did work with my boy. I was fucking with the beats. I like what he does. I like the style that he has. Great year.
He actually said that changed his life. That one was the life changer for him. Drake supposedly gave him a bag. Love that for Conductor.
He deserves it. He that's phenomenal production. I mean, come on, man. And then my fifth nomination, Metro Boomin. Great year. I mean, the album.
I actually think every year he's been a nomination for me and even Dooley.
He does great work. It's just you can't miss with his production. I mean, the taglines, the actual beats themselves.
He's DJ Khaled without being corny, and
he
I
does
love
artistry
DJ
with it too. I mean, he's done the Spider-Verse. He's done both the Spider-Verse soundtracks. I will admit, the first one blows the second one out of the water, in my opinion. Yeah. It's not even close.
First one was Sunflower, right?
Yeah, the first one had Sunflower. Honestly, the first one is like, I really just enjoyed that album in general for it being just a movie soundtrack. I think it's phenomenal. He did his thing with the second one. He did the Heroes and Villains. I know that that came out last year, but that's still running. People are still playing.
Still nominated for stuff.
Doom just sent a song in earlier, maybe yesterday from it or something.
Yeah,
so
yeah, he did.
It's still getting plays. It's I think it's worth the nomination.
100%.
For my winner, though, my winner will be my first nomination, The Alchemist.
Hey, we love seeing The Alchemist get a dub. I couldn't give him the dub, so I'm glad you did. It was between the two.
I just enjoyed the work that he did more than, and this is not this no sleight of hand or anything towards the artist, but I just didn't like the Nas projects as much as I liked what The Alchemist did. So, I mean,
well, you're a Jay-Z guy like me, so we automatically look at Nas record like, get out my fine-tooth comb.
I don't know if I'm that bad, but Nas is a great artist and Hit Boy is a great producer. I just enjoyed what Alchemist did more. Great
projects. I mean, absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Hearing Earl and Vince rap over an Alk beat one more time.
He did some nice work this year.
Yeah, that's a great winner. That's a great winner. And we did agree on quite a bit of those as well. Do you have any honorable mentions?
Nope. That was a tough category for me. I had to keep it short and sweet with that one.
So before we get to the juicy juice, before we get to the juiciest shit of the night, it wouldn't be a show if we didn't save the best for last. For Best Featured Artist, before we get to Album of the Year and Song of the Year, the Sleepless 4th Annual Awards, what do you got?
Best Featured Artist. My nominations. First one, J. Cole.
Okay.
You've seen that he had 2 nominations for me for Best Feature of the Year. I mean, the man just puts in works with the features. And it's undeniable at this point. If you see J. Cole on a feature, he's about to tear that up and possibly make it his song.
He's going to rip that.
And he does different type of features, too. He had that feature with Summer Walker. It's a little more of a slower beat. It's nice.
Yeah. Which, by the way, can we just say about how he cooked those girls' men on Summer's record and on Nicki's record? Like literally cooked their guys. It's pretty much like, you got a queen here, you got a prize, and you're fucking it up. And let me show you how to fix it.
Yeah.
I'd be sick if Cole pulled that shit on me.
Cole did his thing. My second nomination, Wheezy F Baby. Like the features he did this year. He was on that Tyga YG joint with Brand New. I really fucked with it. He got a bag of zeros, like a bag of new Funyuns. Like, come on, bro. Like, he does his thing on his features too. I mean, I had to include him in there. He's done some great feature work this year. He had the feature with Benny. Benny was featured on that album. They worked together a couple times this year, but I really think Wayne did his thing with features this year.
And did you happen to see the interview? For those that don't know, he finally answered to why, like, he's like the feature god. And they were like, it was during the Tyga interview, actually. Okay. He was like, yeah, man. He goes, I've been in the studio. He goes, when we're making your songs. And he's like, then he goes, you hop on one of mine. He goes, I feel like that's when you go the hardest, with all due respect. And Wayne, he said, man, he goes, I look at features a different way. I'm not going to try to do the voice, but he goes, I look at features a different way. He goes, if you're asking me to be on the song, he goes, my job is to give you my absolute best.
I can get behind that.
And the way he said that, it was like, he really believes, like, when it's feature time, that's when I'm turning this shit on.
I truly believe that's a great way to look at it. Like, I mean, someone's paying for your best. They don't want some weak shit. They're giving you money.
Like, it's not, like you said, it's not him just making it on his dime. He's like, oh, you're sending me that.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, shit.
My third nomination, 21 Savage. Always does well with his features.
We're 3 for 3 on the green.
Always does well with his features. Had a handful of features this year, too. I mean, it just amount of features and the quality of the features, I think, is deserving of the nomination. And I fuck with 21 Savage. I mean, come on.
He's another one of those where features are just his thing.
Yeah.
Like, he kills them every time.
My fourth nomination. This dude has the sickest flow in the game. I don't care what anyone says. You can't rap with this man on certain beats. It's impossible. JID is my fourth nomination. He kills every feature he touches. He has different rap flows that you couldn't even find plausible.
They're not possible. They're not possible.
No. This guy can spit.
I'm telling you, the man is not human. I'm glad that you gave that intro. That was a fucking perfect intro. That man is not fucking human. As two artists ourselves, that man's not fucking human. That's not real. Peel his face down. Who is he? Fucking alien. He's the Martian Manhunter.
My fifth and final nomination, Future.
Ooh! Future Hendrix, my boy.
When I was looking through features this year, I was thinking this is Future.
That's my boy.
He was doing a lot of features this year that I enjoyed. I got to give him a nod. It was just an excellent year for features for him. He did a handful of different ones. Got to give him a nod. So for my winner of Best Featured Artist, I can't deny this man his title. It's J. Cole.
Wow. Okay.
I had him for 2 nominations in Features of the Year. I can't look at that and be like, you don't deserve Featured Artist of the Year. He may not have done as much as work as some of these other guys in my nominations, but I think the qualities of his features are never questioned, and he has some hits off of features this year.
He batted 1,000.
Yes, 100%.
He batted 1,000. There was not a bar missed. He batted 1,000.
He did not miss.
Not a single one. And each of those records, let me also add to what you were saying. Each of those records that he hopped on all became massive fucking hits.
Yes.
First person shooter.
All
my life.
Huge hits.
The record on Let Me Calm Down, I believe is what it is, on Pink Friday 2. Then you got
the one with Walker was a pretty decent hit.
Yes. Then you got the one with Summer Walker. I believe there was he just did 3 Bozzy features on Bozzy's album. All knocked him out of the park. I don't know if you've heard that yet.
No,
highly recommend. I mentioned it on the pod. I highly recommend you guys checking that out. In fact, we'll listen to it afterwards as well. Okay. But do you have any honorable mentions?
3 honorable mentions. My first honorable mention, the feature man himself, Ty Dolla $ign.
Okay.
He did some good work features this year. You know, he can hit that singing and that little bit of R&B stuff. I like what he does with the features, and I know he's known for his features. They do call he named featuring Ty Dolla $ign his album. I mean,
he went with the internet meme because they were like,
guy.
"You're only good when you're on features," so he called it featuring Ty Dolla $ign. That's cool. That's that. I love it when people
like
have thick skin and lean into it. Like just lean into it, man. People think your features are better. You're trying to drop an album. What are we gonna call this thing? Featuring Ty Dolla $ign. That's funny. Like they only want to hear it when I'm featuring. So hey, maybe you want to hear my album.
I had to give him an honorable mention. I didn't think the work he did was good enough to put him in a nomination over those artists. So I had to give him an honorable mention though. My second honorable mention, Big Sean. Again, did work with his features. I just don't think he did more than what the guys up there did.
Good point.
I mean, he hit his features though. He killed them.
He batted 1,000, but just not on the level of Cole.
Yeah, I mean,
not on the level of Cole.
Yeah, basically. And then my third honorable mention is Drake. Did a decent amount of features this year. Had a couple cool ones. I mean, nothing crazy, but you know he delivers on his features. So
he had Needle. He had with Nicki. He had Oh You Went with Young Thug. What else did he have though?
He had that one where he's speaking Spanish.
Oh God, I am god awful with song titles, but I know.
I can't remember the title of it.
I know what I know what you're talking.
And
about.
I just think the amounts of different features he does.
That's true, and you never really know where you're going to see him next. He also did the Central C feature.
Yes.
On the Radar
freestyle. So you never know. I feel like he pivots very well into different genres, and I think his features are cool. But again, I just don't think it was enough for me to give him a nomination.
That's fair. You didn't want to favor your boy.
I can't throw
too much.
Too
much.
I got to chill out a little bit.
We try to gauge our biases and pick our fights where we want to. So overall, you said your winner's J. Cole, huh?
Yep.
Well, my 5 nominations. We agree on all but one. We're right there again. All but one we agreed on. And we did not go, I promise you guys. We did maybe a little bit of pre-talk of just like noms.
Lists were already decided.
Already decided. Nobody knew who. I still don't know. I still didn't know who any of your winners were going into tonight. Except for maybe one, her loss. But my 5 nominations. I agree with everything you said. I'm going to piggyback off of you now. JID, Best Featured Artist nomination. That man, every feature he was on this year, to me, he stole the show. And I go back to what I said about Maynard and Vanette. That rhyme scheme is not humanly possible. I don't understand how he did it. I don't understand where he took a breath. It's fucked up. So I go with him as Best Featured Artist. He has gills. Number 2, the feature god, as you said, Lil Wayne. I mean, he's a feature god. That's his thing. And, I'm a big Lil Wayne fan. I got to see him this year, thankfully, and it was a phenomenal show. He actually does some of the features live. Got to give it to Wayne. He does the Swagger Like Us, actually, is the first feature he does live. I was really drunk at that show, so my memory's a little foggy, unfortunately. Too many of those 6 on the beach drinks. But number 3, 21. I agree with you again on that one. 21 Savage deserves it. I mean, he's been a nomination for the past 4 years. Every time he hops on as a feature, he's another one of those guys you look for, and you go, oh, he's on it? Okay. That beat's going to be dope. Before you even hear it, you go, all right, I know 2 things now. The beat's dope, and he's going to go off. 2 things are guaranteed right there. And Peaches and Eggplants, when I went back and listened to it, was that. The moment you hear that beat and you see featuring 21 Savage, you're like, oh, he's going to come on here and say some foul shit. And you just hear the, you sexy, you fine. And it's like, oh, okay, he's got his shit. My 4th nomination, J. Cole. Everything you said, once again, I mean.
Turns into dust when you touch it.
J. Cole, I feel like, and Lil Wayne are the feature gods.
Yeah, they don't miss.
You ask for a feature from them, it turns into it's featuring Wayne. Oh, it's featuring Cole. Let me add that because I know that this is about to be something. And like you said, the All My Life moment to the first person shooter to even the moment that he had on the Nicki album when people were like, damn, were you really trying to almost mac on Nicki right in front of her mans while you're downplaying him? Like, oh shit. which I don't think he was trying to do, but created a funny moment. But fourth nomination, you got to go with Cole. Fifth nomination, only one we disagree on. Only one we disagree on. And I feel like I might get some heat for this one. This is where my bias teeters in a little bit. But I'm also trying to call this down the middle as much as possible. My fifth nomination for Best Featured Artist would be Jay Electronica. Jay Electricity. He was on the Weeping Poets on Vic Mensa's album. Yeah. Stole the show. Amazing feature. Yes, he did. Yeah. He had the feature on Rory's album with Reggie and Rory called Enough. Phenomenal. Legendary in my book. Love that. Classic. Let me say classic, not legendary. Classic. Love everything that Jay Electricity has done this year. Batted 1,000 for me. I'm letting the bias shine because, again, Jay Electricity is such a big name, Jay Electronica, that he didn't drop an album this year. But every time you see featuring Jay Electronica, it's like, oh, they got the Jay Elect feature. And, like, a lot of people this year got one. And that was really cool to see. So, with that being said, that's my fifth nomination. Who do you think is my winner, though?
JID.
You think I'm giving it to the alien?
Yeah.
Guess what? It happens every year for at least one category. This year, we agree. My winner for the 4th annual Sleepless Awards, I agree with you. We mutually agree. I'm giving that bitch to J. Cole. Giving that bitch to J. Cole. The way you said Taylor Swift. I'm going to go back to your Taylor Swift take. Show me somebody that did better numbers and batted more, batted 1,000, did better numbers, made a social media impact. Like, oh, clip the Cole verse and post it. Cole's new verse. And plus that feature with Drake and Evil Waves. People forget about Evil Waves. So, yeah, I think that's a clear cut, winner for Best Featured Artist. JID, Wayne, 21J, I love you guys. But I got to give that to Cole. My honorable mentions, I actually got 3. I agree with you on Future. I think that was one of your noms, though, right?
Yeah.
So I agree with you on Future. He just fell as one of my honorable mentions. My second honorable mention, The Butcher coming. Benny the Butcher. I love it every time I see Benny the Butcher on features. I know Reddit's going to say, quit with that bias. I love you guys, but fuck you guys too, because I'm riding for, oh, that's pause. I ride for Benny the Butcher. I'm a Benny the Butcher stan. I am one of the meat department workers. Pause. Everything I keep saying is just pause. Pause after pause. I should put the pause on. But Benny the Butcher, though, is my second honorable mention. My third honorable mention, Kodak Black. Free Kodak for the 9,000th time. But
I feel like we've been saying that for years.
Man, at this point, I'm just going to draft the tweet. But
just keep it safe for when it happens.
Free Kodak Black 2 weeks later. Yeah, let me use that. Tweet it. But unfortunately. But no, Kodak Black, I got to give that to him. And a skosh of my bias is why I'm going to say I listed him as an honorable mention. That feature on Grandson on Lil Durk's album, put it this way. I don't usually ever do this, but when I go to Grandson, I actually fast forward, and I'll tell you right to where it is. It's 1:09. You fast forward to 1:09, and you hear his verse coming. I'm not going to do it because, well, it says the N-word, so that would be unfortunate if I did that. But that is my third and final honorable mention, with my winner agreeing with you being Mr. Joseph Cole. Cole World. Wear a jacket. So with that being said, I believe now we dive into Song of the Year.
Yep.
And then we dive into Album of the Year. Oh, brother. Song of the Year. Record of the Year. Joint of the Year. This is the category, one of the two, where you just rip your hair out. Especially in a year where nothing but great music is dropped. There's been so much shit that's flew under the radar, went way over the radar and above the clouds. There's been so much music that has came out, so many great singles, so many great records, so many great projects. And trying to pick and decipher what you feel like and we feel like is a real true song of 2023, something that encapsulates the year, something that when you look back on, you go, I remember that drop then. So many factors. But let's just dive into the deep end, Koozie. You ready to jump off the high dive with me?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Song of the Year, first nomination. I go with first person shooter, J. Cole and Drake. It made a moment. It made a moment. You got the Cole feature. You got the Cole and Drake reunion. It wasn't one of the singles for all the dogs, which I think was such a brilliant marketing plan that they didn't drop that as a single, because I'm sure that was eating their fucking minds alive. But the fact that they saved it for the album and they rolled it out as they did with the video, and how now that they're going on tour together, big as the what? Big as the Super Bowl. And we're going to be there as well. Different sections, but we will be there. Got to give the first nomination to first person shooter, Drake and Cole. For my second nomination, I'm sorry if this is my bias getting in the way, so let me preface it with something like this. Let me preface it with this. Preface the bias. This record is called Enough by Rory, Reggie, and Jay Electronica on I Thought It Would Be Different, Rory's album. He dropped that as the fourth and final single before I Thought It Would Be Different came out. And since the first time I heard it, I absolutely love that verse. I related to it very heavy. And for the married men out there, if you haven't heard it, or again, I go back to just, you love your woman and you have fights, you have arguments. Listen to that record. Listen to Enough. Trust me. Love that record. Jay Electronica's verse, one of my verses of the year. If we had a category for it, that'd be one of my verses of the year. Got to give my second nomination after first person shooter to Enough. It's my second most listened to record of the year, and it would be my first if I wasn't trying to sample Death Cab for Cutie. So, if I wasn't trying to sample them, would have been my number one. Apple Music literally said I listened to it 113 times. So, and I actually thought I listened to it more, to be honest. But my third nomination is a record that we've talked about so much tonight that I'm just going to say it, and we're going to keep moving on. Kitchen Lights. West Side Gun and Stove God. That just, you put that on to start your morning and you have a wake and bake session. I'll tell you this right now. How you could wake up without a smile on would be beyond me. My fourth nomination. Everybody knows I'm an Odd Future stan. Everybody knows I'm a Tyler fanatic. I'm an Earl fanatic. I'm a Damo fanatic. But the name that I'm talking about is, he did drop the Call Me If You Get Lost Deluxe. I'm going with Heaven to Me, Tyler the Creator. Love that outro, the way that he did that sample, and the way that he kind of recapped his whole life, talking about from the start of Odd Future to wearing the cast and getting Odd Future to sign the cast during Oldie, to coming and saying that now he's bought his mom not one but two homes. That's a fucking bar. I've never actually heard any artist get that off. I bought my mom's not one but two. And something about that bar, when I went back and listened to it, I said, I just love what he did here. I love what he did here. Yeah. So it's my fourth nomination for Song of the Year. My fifth and final nomination for Song of the Year before you guys take a wild guess at this one. I'd go with I Hope I Packed a Parachute, Child. And I know that one's going to surprise people because, again, people go, what? Who? And I'm going to say the same thing I said the last time I said, what, who? If you haven't heard it, go type in Child and spell that bitch with 3 I's. And listen to that album that he dropped this year and get to the record, I Hope I Packed a Parachute. For anybody that's ever been sad or had a moment where you're like, man, I'm just down. I don't know what I want. I don't know what to turn to. Like, I'm just beating myself up. How the hell can I match my mood right now, but also make me feel better? You listen to I Hope I Packed a Parachute. And I use that as a comfort song, so I had to include that and let my bias shine and put that as my fifth nomination. However, for my winner, the one that takes home the chicken dinner, Song of the Year, what's your guess? I guarantee none of you guys can guess this one out of my nominations. Look, I racked my head around it. I went back and forth and back. And I ended up on one answer. When I look back on 2023, what is the song of the year? Big as the what? Big as the Super Bowl. I go with first person shooter, Drake and J. Cole. And I'm so excited to hear that record perform live and see how they do it. Doomer guest Rory. Love it. Can't wait to see what Reddit guessed as well. I know that we're not live on there, but I can't wait to see what they guessed as well. I wanted to go Rory, but I can't do it. I have to go with first person shooter, Drake and J. Cole. Gotta do it. Nadine, Justine, Christine, and Charlene. Pack them in this phone like they sardines. And they send me naked pictures. That's the small things. But the small things, as he would say. That's actually how Donald Trump would say it. Small things. Small things. Pack them in my phone like they sardines. I don't actually think he would talk like that. But that is my winner for Song of the Year. Okay. My honorable mentions, I got 3. Because I just couldn't not write them down. I go with Call Your Friends, Rod Wave. Okay. I go with You Thought, Tizo Touchdown, and Janelle Monáe. Okay. And I go with Maynard Vignette, which is Killer Mike, T.I., J.I.D., and I forget who else is on that record. So,
I went a little bit opposite of you in this aspect for Song of the Year. I didn't let any bias show at all. These songs were mega hits. You couldn't avoid them. They definitely marked points of this year where you just, you go back and you're like, okay, that song ran for 3 months. Couldn't get away from it. My first nomination, Fuck You Mean, Gunna.
Ooh. Which is no longer a rap, so we can go, ooh, good.
Like I said, I mean, there was times where I still hear that song sometimes, and I don't even listen to Gunna.
I rapped over the beat, man. I love that song.
So it wasn't escapable for a while, and he definitely left his mark.
Some would say it's the song of the summer.
He left his mark on 2023 with that song.
Yes, he did.
My second nomination, Just Wanna Rock, Lil Uzi Vert. Another one where he just left his mark on the year with that song, I think.
I agree, but I don't like that record. So I gotta go thumbs down on that one. I just want to rap. I just want to rap. I just want to rap. I mean, it's kind of cool. It's catchy.
I got hyped behind it for a little bit. I don't listen to it like that, but.
And I love Uzi. I'm not hating on Uzi, but that record wasn't it for me.
My third nomination, Paint the Town Red, Doja Cat.
Doge.
She marked
Pussy Fat. Love Doja Cat.
Marked, like I said, that she left a mark on 2023 with that song.
Yes,
it immediately caught. It was catchy. It's got airwaves. It did its thing.
AEW used it as a theme for Dynamite. Or not Dynamite, I'm sorry. Full Gear. Pay-per-view.
I mean, it definitely left its mark on 2023. I definitely deserve it. I definitely think it deserved a nomination.
I love that song. I ain't even gonna front. I love that song.
My fourth nomination. I'm not a fan of this artist, but the song again just did numbers and left the mark. All My Life, Lil Durk featuring J. Cole. J. Cole killed the feature. The song was huge for a minute there. Definitely one of Durk's bigger features,
biggest song,
biggest hit. So
that's his biggest song for sure. That's his biggest song.
That or Laugh Now, Cry Later.
Bigger. It's bigger.
I gotta give it the time, but yeah, like that has like 900 million streams too.
Oh shit. I would think though that All My Life.
I think All My Life is bigger
because Laugh Now, Cry Later was a feature.
Yes.
So I feel like that was his first big solo, like massive hit.
Yes. My fifth nomination, first person shooter, Drake and J. Cole. You knew it was gonna make the list.
So we agree on one?
Yeah, we only agreed on one, but I mean,
first person shooter mode.
That's another one where you said it just leaves your mark on 2023. Now, my winner, I put my bias aside for my winner. First person shooter is not my winner. For me, it did not have enough time to outdo some of these other songs. My song of the year is Fuck You Mean Gunna. That song just left its imprint, and I couldn't get away from it. I don't even really like the song, but it was just a hit. And he left his mark with everything going on and people going against him, people siding with him. He dropped this track, and it it honestly, it's probably hasn't left people's rotation yet.
It is good. I just can't believe that is the winner.
I couldn't give it to Drake. I just didn't feel like
right when you said first person shooter, I'm like, are we agreeing again?
No, it was close. It was definitely. I wanted to give it to Drake, but I can't give Drake.
You glad I gave it to him?
Yeah, I'm glad you gave it to him. I personally, I was like, okay, I'm going through this. Like, I can't just keep letting Drake win. Like it's
Trust me, if Mac was still dropping the music, this would be a lot more difficult for me too.
Yeah. So I had
R.I.P. buddy.
The fuck you mean by Gunna. It definitely it was a song of 2023 for sure. When you look back on this year, it'll be one of the top ones on fucking 2023 hits.
And it is cool to see that when they asked Young Thug about it, because he only had like literally 5 minutes, and that was one of the first questions, and he actually answered it. He goes, don't give him any animosity. He doesn't deserve it. He didn't rat on me. He did everything that we told him to do. That, boom, cleared his name. For some reason, Lil Baby still thinks he's a rat, but whatever. I saw he said at the song, or at the show, they tried to play Drip Too Hard for him, and he was like, cut that shit off. He's a rat. And I'm like, buddy, 3 months ago, Young Thug said he's all good. And he's the one that he supposedly snitched on. If he's saying he's all good, he's all good. Like, don't twist that shit.
My honorable mentions, I have 4. My honorable mentions played a lot of bias. I'm sorry, guys. You're just
they're honorable mentions. You can let them go.
My first honorable mention. This lady does numbers. She's young. She's new. Her sound is nice. She's gonna be a superstar. Vampire Olivia Rodrigo.
Is wifey down here? She should be. She'd love to hear you say that.
That's one of my honorable mentions. I think it's a great track. I like her sound. One of the artists, female artists that I really do get behind and do like enjoy listening to.
I like Olivia too. I'm behind her too. I like that Guts album.
It was nice.
Good shit.
My second honorable mention, Meltdown, Travis Scott, Drake. That was one of those ones. I really enjoyed the track. It had a mark in the memes and everything.
That was the feature I was forgetting.
It definitely played a part in 2023. Just wasn't good enough in my eyes to get the nomination, but had to give it an honorable mention. My third one, super biased. Two can attest to this. My third honorable mention is Creepin', Danny Towers, DJ Scheme featuring Denzel Curry.
Oh, yeah, major bias. Love that, though. Love that, though.
I love that record a lot. I think it's great. Denzel did his thing. Danny Towers did his thing on it. The DJ Scheme was cool.
Another producer that could have been an honorable mention.
Yeah. I have to give the honorable mention to Creepin' just because of it's a personal bias. That's all it is.
Let him shine.
My fourth and final honorable mention, this guy, I wasn't hip to him right when he started getting big. I work in a t-shirt shop, so a lot of the people were starting to wear hoodies of this guy, and I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, I've never heard of him. And then
Curious on who you're about to say.
my buddy Anthony tried putting me on, and then the one night you put me on, and you played Stick Seasons by Noah Khan. And that song hadn't left my rotation since I heard it.
Noah Kahan.
It's
Noah Gohan.
It's great, honestly. It deserves at least an honorable mention. If I had been hip to it earlier, it might have even been a nomination.
Hey, I agree with him. I love that. I love that pick.
I think that's a great record.
I didn't know where you were going with it until you were like, Anthony. I'm like, I know what you said. I'm already fucked with. Wow, song of the year is tough, and now we go to the toughest one. Oh my! So my winner was First Person Shooter, and your winner was Fuck You Mean by Gunna. So with that being said, now we pivot into album of the year. The hardest category of them all. You saved the best for last. What was the album of 2023? You go first.
I'll go first.
You still got the baton.
My first nomination for album of the year. I know I just said First Person Shooter didn't have enough time for it to win Song of the Year for me. But album of the year, my first nomination is For All the Dogs, Drake. I mean,
okay.
Can't deny the numbers. You guys already know I'm a Drake guy.
Reddit's going to not like you. I'm just letting you know that.
Yeah, you know what? I don't care. We'll cry about it. For All the Dogs, Drake. It does receive my first nomination. Great album. I mean, it's got the numbers. It's got the hits. Yeah, Rich Baby Daddy Gang. Slime You Out's great. Amen with Tizo is nice.
17 or
first
7339 Santa or whatever it is.
You know,
8 p.m. in Charlotte. We talked about that.
I mean, there's so
Members
many.
Only is my favorite with Party
It's a
Next
great
Door.
one with Party. I mean, there's so many.
You ain't down with the gangy.
It was an all around good album. I know there was a lot of hate to it too. Oh, I'm sick of hearing Drake make this, and we want Drake to rap. And this was a nice album in my opinion. And you either fucked with it or you didn't.
I'm not upset at it.
My second nomination, Utopia, Travis Scott. Did the numbers, had the hype. I don't listen to this album very much anymore in my rotation, but just as far as waiting for someone to drop an album and the numbers it did right after it dropped, I think just speaks for itself.
Yeah, 9 kids died. No, I'm kidding.
He had some great tracks on there. I mean, there's a lot of features to go through on that. He had some younger guys on there. He had some of the obvious guys that were going to be on there. I definitely think it deserved the nom. It was up there for sure. My third album nomination, The Patience, Mick Jenkins.
I love you.
This is a
I love that. I love that
pick.
pick.
This is a great album. Easy
love that
listening. Pick. When it first dropped, I ran through it 3 times without even realizing I ran through it 3 times. It's a great album. There's I think a little bit of for every rap fan on there. He has some bars. He has some great production. He does a little bit of the smoothness. It's all there. And JID on there with it's murders the feature. Freddie Gibbs is on there. He murders his feature. I just think it as an album overall, this may be such a slept on guy. He may not be a big name like some of these artists I've already named,
which is crazy.
But
it's crazy. I'm telling you,
he has a pen. And he fucking knows what to do with it, man.
He's one of those guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like whenever you hear him, whether it's his song, a feature, whatever it is, he's not just rapping. He's talking to you.
Yes.
And I love that about Nick. He's having a conversation with you.
Yeah.
I love that. Absolutely love that.
For my 4th nomination, And Then You Pray For Me, West Side Gun. This album has not left part of my rotation. Hey, hasn't left my rotation. Kitchen Lights won my feature of the year. I mean, it was a great album all the way through. You had Benny, you had Conway, you had West Side Gun make appearance. I mean, it was just great. I really just thorough production on it. The bars, great artistry with it. I mean, it was.
And real quick, I know just coming from a super fan perspective, when you see the track list, you don't get any singles, right? So you don't know what we're expecting. You see West Side, Conway, and Benny. So you go, okay, classic Griselda. I can't wait to hear that one. And then as soon as that one starts, you hear, hey, Take Keith.
Yep.
Fuck these individuals up. And oh my God.
Yeah. That was a nice
As soon as I heard it was a Take Keith beat, I'm like, this is about to be insane. And it was. And it's got Kitchen Lights. It's got tons of great records. It's got Mama's Prime Time with JID, where again he does alien shit.
Yeah,
I just had to fan out for you.
Oh, you're cool.
That pick. I love that pick.
My 5th nomination, Michael, Killer Mike. Great album. I had just sent in a song when I was on my way here because I was listening to that album. It's a fantastic album, and I definitely think it's got to be worth consideration. He did some great work with that album.
That might win the actual Grammy. Because it's nominated for it.
I would be happy if it did, to be honest. It's a great album, phenomenal.
The way he posted, he goes, I submitted the album. He said, I really didn't think that they would take it into consideration. He said, I got a call back 2 days later and said, you're the first one we got. And it's like, whoa. Like, out of all these albums, out of all these, sorry, but mainstream artists.
Yeah.
People recognize, like, oh shit, you got 3K snapping on that bitch, you got T.I., you got JID, you got this one, that one. Young Nudy's having the moment of his career. Nominate that bitch. Love that pick. So glad that you said Michael. For
my winner, and you said Reddit's going to hate me, but my winner is For All the Dogs.
Oh, Reddit's going to kill you.
Reddit can make my gravestone now if they want.
Reddit is going to kill you. When I posted on that was my highly recommendation of the week, they fucking killed me. And all I said was that was my highly recommendation of the week.
I feel like Russell Crowe in the Gladiator right now.
You're taking out the sword and looking at the stampede. I love it.
I mean, just a great album and did the numbers. I think it's well deserving. Sure, some of those other nominations on my list are very well deserving too. My runner up was actually Michael. I mean, that was just a great album.
Good time to give you a runner up. I like that. Good time to give you a runner up.
It was just a good year for music, and Drake left his mark on 2023 again, and I like I said, I didn't want to give him too many awards. That's part of the reason why First Shooter didn't get an award. You can't just go and give Drake every single award. That's not how it works. Come on, like there was other artists that did better, but this album as a whole for me has not left the rotation. I listen to every single track when it comes on. Still,
hey, if we're gonna let our biases shine just a skosh, I think this is the category to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
It shows how much we love these projects.
For my honorable mentions, I have 4. My first one, King's Disease 3, Nas, great. Was excellent.
1-800-NAS and hit.
I like that one the best out of the 3 he made this year. I think it did its thing. I definitely enjoyed it.
It got the Grammy nominated as well.
Album cover is iconic. I mean,
wouldn't be surprised if it won.
You see that, you know what it is. Like
that's a King's Disease.
Exactly. My second nomination. I've never been a huge fan of this guy, but with this album, he actually released my favorite song of his I've ever listened to. Not my favorite song I've ever listened to, but his favorite song I've ever listened to. My second honorable mention is Austin, Post Malone.
Oh, okay. I know you've never been big on Posty like I am. But I'm happy to see you say that.
I liked what he did with the album. I thought it was very easy listen. You could go. It's relaxing. It's
very on brand for him.
On brand. And I could relate a little more to this one than I did the last one. And so I really enjoyed that album. I definitely think it obviously got its place. And there's huge Post Malone fans out there. I mean,
me being one of
them. For my third honorable mention, the Pink Tape, Lil Uzi Vert. I had this record a lot in my replay when it first came out.
Dom, you're going to be happy.
It kind of has fallen off for me, so I couldn't really give it a nomination, but I wanted to give it something because I did listen to it heavy when it came out.
Fun fact, I sent the categories at Domathan, and I never thought I would see something like this, and I don't understand it, so I'm just going to throw it out there for content's sake. He literally told me that Uzi was not only his male artist of the year, but that his song of the year was that System of a Down sample song.
What?
And that
I like that record.
And that his album of the year was the Pink Tape. But now here's where it gets funny. Guess what his sleeper of the year winner was? The Pink Tape. Because he was like, people didn't give it the love it truly deserved. And I was like, what are you talking about? It was number 1 for like 2 weeks. Like in hip hop, it was number 1 for like 2 weeks. A lot of people talked about it. He goes, wasn't talked about enough. Shake my head. Literally, just like that. He said, wasn't talked about enough. Shake my head.
That's crazy.
And I was like, Dom. It's Uzi.
I know that's his guy.
Like, as we ride for our guys, it's like
I said, I couldn't just give Drake everything. Like
he was. If he was here, he'd give Uzi everything.
And my fourth and final honorable mention, this album came out at the beginning of the year. He did something different with it. Let's start here, Lil Yachty.
Let's start here. Okay, I would have thought if you said Lil Yachty, I would have thought you would have said Pretty. Because I know that was the hit on the album.
No, this is the album of the year.
Oh, the whole Let's Start
Here. Honorable mention. Like,
right.
That's
right.
I think what he did.
I didn't lose sight of that just in the moment. For a split second, I was like, oh shit. No. I was thinking of Pretty when you mentioned Lil Yachty because of how much I love that record.
No.
So that's why I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Do I need to step out that window and step on the ledge here?
No. I just think I wasn't like, I didn't love the album, but to take that step and put something out like that when you're known as a mumble rapper or a hip hop artist like that, to branch out and do something of that type of content and to get the reception it got, I think it deserves some sort of nod on its own.
I'm glad that you said that because I feel like his album was literally like 2023 has started. I'm glad that you said that because with his album drop, it was so good that it was like, okay, the year started.
We're getting something.
Let's get tuned in. What's going on here? The year has officially started. Lil Yachty did the opening kickoff to 2023, and he did it with a great album. And like you said, you're known as the mumble rapper. You're known as the guy who's trying to rap and does it well, but for whatever reason, people still hate on him. And then you do that and you say, hey, I'm going to make something completely different. And I feel like that all started with his Poland song.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, you guys like that? And then it was like, all right, give me a couple months. And then they gave us a whole album of it. And I love that. I love what he did with that. The artistry evolution of Lil Yachty truly is incredible. So I guess that leaves me to close us out with Album of the Year, huh?
Yeah.
Sleepless, 4th Annual Awards. It's been so much fun, as it always is, trying to rack our brains around this and go back and forth and see what we agree on and what we don't. I can't wait to see all of your guys' picks as well. Good brother Doomer's been keeping us updated throughout as well. With that being said, here goes my Album of the Year nominations. Number 1, I go with my favorite podcast in the whole world, one of the only 2 podcasts that I actually keep up with, and one of the only 2 Patreons that I'm actually subscribed to, the $20 tier, actually, to show you how much I love this guy. That would be Rory, a.k.a. the Ginger, a.k.a. the podcast GOAT in my book. Well, he's been talking for years, if you've been following him, even since he was on the JBP, the Joe Budden podcast, that he was going to put out his own compilation album of R&B. And let me tell you right now, that man delivered 1,000 out of 100%. I thought it would be different. And at where I'm at in my life, as soon as I listen to that album and it's called I Thought It'd Be Different, and you listen from Surrender all the way down to Enough, I got that as an immaculate album. It's a classic. It is, again, one of the only 3 projects, like I said with Paid Provided Profits, one of the only 3 projects that I bought on iTunes this year. And it is absolutely phenomenal. I highly recommend you guys, especially my R&B lovers out there, and even my hip-hop lovers. Come on now. You got Conway the Machine on See How This Thing Goes. You got Reason on Sobering Thoughts from the Mondrian. And every single record on there, you got Raheem, you got Chantel May, you got Emotional Oranges, you got They, you got Conway, you got Reggie, you got Jay Electronica. I mean, just absolutely phenomenal track list, and the people that he got on this project is just so amazing. It's my most listened to album of the year. I clocked in on Apple Music at 393 plays, and it's gotten about 15 more plays since I posted that like 2 weeks ago. So with that being said, to start off my album of the year, my first nomination is I Thought It'd Be Different by Rory. My second nomination, let me grab a prop real quick. My second nomination, I had the honor to talk to this individual, and this is where my bias is just, it's breaking the window, it's shining through so much. Because most people would say this should be your sleeper, but I'm not doing that shit. Because everybody should be awake when it comes to this guy. I had the honor of talking to him. I had the honor of meeting him. I even had the honor of meeting a couple of his family members. It was a great time. Got to have some drinks with him. I know he's sober now, so he was enjoying his kombucha. But we had a great time, great conversation. I was so thankful for him and his team's hospitality, hanging out with the drum work guys, even just for a little bit with Dooley. It was so much fun. And I love being around that scene and love hanging around him and getting to pick his brain and getting to even ask him questions was incredible. So with that being said, for my second, and it is my third and final project that I bought off of iTunes this year, and I bought the hard copy and got it signed. Well, actually, I didn't have to buy the hard copy. It was gifted to me as a gift. Thank you, Jay Skeese. Abolished Uncertainties with the official Herbie Hancock signature. So thank you, Jay, for signing that CD for me and gifting that to me. I appreciate it a lot. That is hands down one of my albums of the year for sure. Love his rapping on that. You couldn't ask for a better debut project. You couldn't ask for better cover art. As you know, I've been sending that bitch all year. I ain't letting it go. Love that rapping. Love the record. Sideline Saga, Anti-Crystal. You got Symmetry. You got Bonneville, which goes absolutely crazy. Me and him were on stage jamming face to face. I'm fucking throwing arms. I'm going crazy because I don't know how to dance. So I'm just like, just go crazy. And it created a moment, and that was awesome. So I thought it'd be different as a nomination, and I got abolished uncertainties, Jay Skis. My third nomination is one of your honorable mentions. And I'm so glad that you mentioned it because I was curious to see if you would, because I know you're not as big on this guy as I am. But I think Post Malone dropped one of the best projects of his career. I absolutely love Austin. I think it's super on brand for what he did. And it really encapsulates being a Post Malone stan and being able to relate to him. I know I've said this before, but Mac Miller, there's never been anybody that I relate to their music more than Mac Miller. But number 2 would be Post Malone. I relate a lot to him, hence me always drinking. Love Post Malone. I think that was actually his second best project behind Stoney. I think that's maybe a hot take. Maybe. But I think that is his best project behind Stoney, because obviously Stoney's his immaculate classic debut. My fourth nominee, Won't He Do It? Conway the Machine. I think that's his staple as far as like, look, I've told you guys that I'm here, but now you guys are trying to close the door on me, and I'm going to stick my foot in that motherfucker. Yeah. I ain't going nowhere. I ain't fucking leaving. I'm not fucking leaving. As Jordan Belfort would say. And he said, I'm trying to get drum work behind me. I got this label I'm kicking off. I got Jay Ski snapping. I got Love the Genius snapping. I got to show him why I'm the boss. So I go, Won't He Do It? Conway the Machine. Which, seeing him live again with Jay Skis, shaking hands. I mean, what am I even talking about? What is this crazy life I live? Love Conway the Machine. Got to have him as a nomination. My fifth nomination. Fifth and final. Wasn't easy, but I agree with you on this pick, and I think it needs to be said. And even though I'll spoiler alert it, he's not my winner. But I do believe that no matter what, if you're doing an award show for best hip hop album or just best album in general, you got to have his name included. You got to go with Michael. You got to go with Killer Mike. Have to. Absolutely have to. As a fan of Killer Mike for years and a fan of Run the Jewels, seeing him get the split off from Run the Jewels and be like, hold on, let me dip my own feet in the water and see how this goes. That was absolutely incredible. And I love seeing all the features that he got on that. He has you on Scientists and Engineers. He's got you on that.
Give him a 3K feature.
Which immaculate. He's got the Young Nudie Act Up. He's got Maynard Vignette. He dropped an incredible deluxe, incredible regular. The rollout was amazing. The press that he did was amazing. His performances on nightly television was absolutely amazing. I think you got to have him as your fifth nomination. Burner Phone is one of my songs of the year. I'm going to shed a tear, and I'm going to make sure that Jay Skeese knows that, because I fucking love Burner Phone, and I'm so fucking glad that you mentioned that. Good brother Doomer, thank you. Love Burner Phone. But with that being said, I gave immaculate intros for all of them. What is my album of the year? As I grab a beer. Tough, huh? I want to see your guys' guesses. I want to see you guys go for it. You're saying you're guessing Rory? Yeah. Well, if you were a betting man, Koozie, I'd have to tell you something. And that would be that you were absolutely right. You guessed it right. Out of those 5 hard to choose from nominations, because it was not easy writing down any of those almost besides the top 3. Which even that wasn't really easy because I knew I was leaving out shit. But I got to give it to, when I look back, Jay Skeese. He thought Jay Skeese. It was close. My second guess. So my runner-up was Abolished Uncertainties, the second one that I wrote down. But why I'm giving that to Rory is because of a lot of different reasons. So I'll give a couple. One, it was so hyped. It was so hyped up for so many years. that if you've been a fan of him since even, like I said, on the Joe Budden podcast,
Yeah.
he always said it would be a dream. That's literally how it started off. And that's why on the Instagram reel, it was cool how they merged all of it together. He said one time on the pod, he's like, yeah, one day he goes, I'm gonna make an R&B album. He goes, just watch. He goes, once I get to that level, he's like, I got some certain artists in mind. He goes, we're gonna make something special. And he also, a lot of people don't know this. He drowned around, which I love DJ Drama. He didn't do like the I'm gonna intro record. He never even sang on any of them. He didn't write on him. He didn't not write on him. He didn't rap on him. He didn't sing on him. He didn't do any of that. He had a skit on I Want You, But You'll Never Know. That's the only thing he had with his voice on. But he helped write a lot of those records. And he also helped. I love it when you win. I love it when people that I love win. I love it when people that I support, even if they don't know me, win. When I saw on the IG reel when he said I could scratch something off my bucket list, and it was Jay Electronica coming up and throwing an arm around him. And he threw that arm around him. And you could see Rory's eyes got a little watery.
Yeah.
Because that's one of his favorite rappers of all time. And he did that shit as a favor. As a fucking favor. Got on enough. I thought that was absolutely incredible and did not get enough shine. Man, I highly recommend checking out everything that we've said tonight if you haven't. But I thought it'd be different, Rory. I got to go with that. I got to let the bias shine. I listen to that album every single day, every single night, at least one record on it. For example, when I woke up this morning, the first record I listened to, Not Me, with Chantel May and Raheem. Did it surprise you?
No, you've been fucking with that album all year.
I'm always sending
all
a
year,
too.
You'll
catch me in the middle of the night sending enough for the 50th time, like just making sure you guys have heard this. But no, Jay Skeese, I love you. Post, I love you. Conway, I love you. Killer Mike, I love you. I got 3 honorable mentions, though, before we close this thing out. The honorable mentions is where now I'm going to get into the hot water with you in Reddit. Reddit's not going to like me very much either. My first honorable mention, because Reddit does not understand why I love this guy so much, so I'll dive in on it for a second. Rod Wave, nostalgia. Yeah, I said it. I'm the old head that loves Rod Wave. I know, it's crazy, huh? Nutty. I know that Rod Wave's demographic is not me. In fact, I'm probably the opposite of his demo. But the way he puts emotion into those melodies and those lyrics is incredible. And I've been a Rod Wave fan for a while. I've had my eye on him. And this nostalgia album really made me feel like, okay, this guy ain't going nowhere. You're going to need a fucking bulldozer and take him out of here because he's that damn good. And I know people are getting on him right now in the media about he's ripping lyrics. Go listen to the record. He's intentionally ripping the lyrics. He's starting off the verse ripping the lyric. But then he carries it off into his own thing and it sounds completely different than where he took it from. Remember, we're artists. We get inspiration. I've said things that other artists have said. You've said things that other artists have said. You can be writing something with an original thought and accidentally say something that another artist has said. It comes down to how you deliver it and how it feels to you. And I think Rod Wave knocked that album out of the park, and to try to criticize and put his shit under fine-tooth comb, he does not deserve it. I got to give the honorable mention to nostalgia, Rod Wave. My second honorable mention, and then you pray for me, West Side Gun. I think that's one of his best albums yet. It was an art piece. It's a masterpiece. The way he sculpted it, start to finish, with all those features. He's always great for snagging great production and putting new people on, like Rome Streets and Peasy and Stove God, giving him a great moment. Love seeing what he did with that album. Love West Side Gun. Love And Then You Pray For Me. And my third and final honorable mention. Oh, I know what this means. We have to wait a whole other year until we do this again. But my final honorable mention, Free King Slime. Business is business. Young Thug. Yep. And I think that was
a flack at the beginning of the year.
Yep. And that's why I'm going to die on the hill. I'm going to do what you did. Hey, you did it once earlier. Hey, Reddit. I got this fight before. I'm ready, you pickleball paddle pong shush. Bring it on. So with that being said, I say business is business, Young Thug. Oh, you went. All the records that he had with the Racks, with 21 Savage. To go back to his features, love what Young Thug did with Business is Booming. Do not think that got enough love. I mean, I know it's King Slime. I know everybody's on the free Young Thug as we should be. But that album, I think, got hated on, and I don't understand why. Because it was a great album, especially from being locked in. He got Nate Roos from Fun to sing the outro, Global Access. I thought that was incredible. So my final honorable mention, I go Young Thug. So before we get out of here on the Sleepless 4th Annual Awards, thank you to everybody for being tuned in on Instagram, whether you're watching now or you're watching after. Thank you to everybody on YouTube, whether you're watching now or watching after. And thank you everybody on Reddit. And I can't wait to see what all of your guys' picks and nominations and winners and what your honorable mentions are. And thank you for joining us on a shake and bake Sleepless Sunday night. Very beautiful Sleepless 4th Annual Awards. Thank you, Koozie, for pulling up a chair and hanging with us and giving your picks and noms and winners. So with that being said, let's just recap and we'll get out of here. My album of the year. I said I thought it'd be different. You said For All the Dogs. Rough, rough. I said Song of the Year. First person shooter. Drake and J. Cole. And you got Fuck You Mean Gonna. Best feature. I got Won't He Do It. Love the Genius. Conway the Machine.
Stove God Cooks. Kitchen Lights.
Kitchen Lights. We got Sleeper of the Year. My winner, Mumble Rap 2, Belly.
My sleeper was Boy Meets World. Sleepy Hollow.
Male Artist of the Year. I said Nas. El Drake, Mr. Champagne Pape. Female Artist of the Year. Taylor Swift, T-Swizzle. And I got SZA. Producer of the Year. I got Hit Boy, because he got all the hits, boy.
And The Alchemist, he knows how to cook.
He does, too. He knows his chemicals. Rookie of the Year. Tizo Touchdown.
OT.
Mexican the OT.
That Mexican OT.
That Mexican OT. Tizo Touchdown. Big T's. Best featured artist. We agreed. Mr. Cole World. J. Cole. Collab Album of the Year. What do you got?
Collab Album of the Year, I had Her Loss, Drake and 21.
And I got Kate Tremine.
I made her cheated a little bit on that one, but it's okay.
That's okay. I said SZA for Female Artist of the Year all as well. Well, guys, thank you guys so much for being tuned in. Just wanted to say, I like to end it with this, that I can't believe I'm saying it, but 4th Annual Sleepless Awards in the books. It's always so much fun. It's always a blast. Thank you, Koozie, for pulling up a chair. Yes, can't wait to see what you guys have to think as well and what your guys' winners and picks are. Thank you, good brother Doomer, for being tuned in on IG. Thank you, everybody, for being tuned in live on YouTube. We appreciate it big time. We got cash giveaways at 150 subs and 1,000 members over on Reddit, as well on the Sleepless Radio channel. We got merch available now. Limited time price drops. We got short sleeves, long sleeves, Christopher Reeves. We got everything you need. Thank you guys for being tuned in, and we appreciate you guys big time. Keep the love high and the hate low. You pickleball, paddle, polishers. Thank you guys for being tuned in. Sleepless 4th Annual Awards. Until next time, so much fun. Can't wait to see what you guys think. Next week, we got 2-0 winners bracket kicking off on the Rock winners bracket. And we got Pull Up and Chair episode 68. We got madness on the horizon. Merch available for a limited time. Koozie, anything you'd like to say before I officially close this thing out?
Have a great night and stay safe.
Keep the love high and the hate low. Wake up with a smile on. And before you take that morning piss, I want you to look in the mirror and tell yourself 3 things you're grateful for. On that note, peace. Gotta post that.